Hello, everyone, and welcome to Conversations in Horror, the podcast. I am your host, Kevin L. Powers. I'm also the owner, operator of Something Wicked Entertainment and Events, and I want to welcome you to our program today, in which we delve deep into an individual horror film from many different decades, subgenres, and all that is in between. Now, today is a very special day because what is it? It is Friday the 13th, and we love to celebrate our holidays as horror fans by bringing you new episodes just for the heck of it into that franchise of Friday the 13th. Now, if you've been listening to our podcast, we've delved deep already into the first 5 films in this franchise, so please check out those episodes as well. But this one right here, we're going to dig deep into Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, which may be or may not be one of the favorites among my guests today. And those guests today who will be speaking with me about this film are Mr. Dave Watkins and John Conkle. I want to thank you guys for coming back and talking to me about the next Jason film.
All right.
So yeah, as you can hear, everyone who's listening, this is very fun for us to be doing these Friday 13th episodes on Friday 13th for your listening pleasure. So we're going to get right into it because I know we have a lot to talk about in regards to this film. First of all, I do want to ask each of you, what was your first impressions about this film? And this time we're going to start with Dave.
So this one, I'm going to go ahead and spoil my thoughts on it. It's one of my favorites of the series. But this one, I saw it on, it was probably on Channel 46 or USA or something like that. And it really, like, this opening where Jason dies in the 4th one, and he's not in the 5th one. And then they bring him back to life. And that whole sequence is done so awesomely. It's such a great atmosphere in the opening. And then the whole rest of the movie kind of follows suit with it.
Absolutely.
How about you, Conklin?
Agreed. Yeah. That opening really cooks, man. Really cooks. And so I saw this one probably at my cool dad's on the weekend. He was like, "Yeah, let's watch this one. You can watch this one." And by this point I had seen them all, and I was like at bated breath waiting for this new one, and I was I wasn't a fan of Part 5. I am now. I missed that episode. Blah! But I was, when I saw the poster, and 1986. Holy cow. All right. So do you remember a time where you didn't know crap about what was coming out, and then you would go to the movie theater and just happen to see the poster, and you're going like, "Oh my God, they made this movie." And then you'd be like, I had no idea this was even made, and it's coming out next month, and holy cow, I'm so excited. So like 86, I guess I was 11, and that was the year, you walk into the theater one day and there's a Psycho 3 poster, and that was the best poster, of him holding the key with the knife. And then you walk in another week, and there's like a Texas Chainsaw 2 poster up in the thing. You're going, they're making a sequel to Texas Chainsaw. And then another day you walk in, and it's a new Friday the 13th movie, and it's got that great poster with the backlit mask. Again, once they establish that mask in Part 3, every poster 4 on up, if you didn't have the hockey mask in the poster, I mean, you just, that's the freaking image. That's the iconic symbol of these movies. So I was really hyped about this. I remember the cool teenagers in the neighborhood went to go see it, and I remember the music video playing on MTV, and Alice Cooper is wall to wall in this movie, and I finally saw it on like the movie channel or something like that. And yeah, it's like a totally different bird than the previous movies. I mean, it is almost like for me, it is like if you compare Part 6 to Part 1, you can see the evolution of these movies. All right. Part one was like done by like some guy and Tom Savini and like two other people and like, shot on like, and it looks like it is like in Connecticut and everything. Now it made so much money and then Paramount took over and now you've got this movie, and though it's low budget, I mean, it's very slick. All right. This movie is very slick, and it starts, and even though it's low budget, that, as you said, that opening scene, the pre-credit sequence, is so crackerjack, like a statement of purpose of what this movie is going to be, and it's a totally different vibe than the previous movies. This movie is. And this is a self-aware movie. This movie is self-aware about horror, and it's self-aware about the Friday 13th movies, and it's going like, all right, you guys know Jason movies. We're just going to crank it up for a 1986 audience. And they just got a guy to direct it who just, he had an image of what he wanted to do. I mean, it wasn't the same thing, even though structurally it probably follows, Teens in Woods. Yeah. But he had a couple of ideas.
It doesn't feel like a rehash. It feels very exciting. It flows. And too, like, you see Jason's hockey mask, and they've always, like, in the other films, even the fourth one, which is really good too, but they didn't show him very good until almost the last act in every one of the films. And this one, right off the bat, you see him, and you always see him.
Yeah. Because he's a hero now. He's the main character.
So I will tell you this. With this film, when I was the same age as you, because we're the same age, I was. I may have not. My experience was not seeing the posters at the theaters. My experience with this film was first seeing the Alice Cooper music video.
Oh, right.
And the thing is, I didn't know who the fuck Alice Cooper was until I saw the music video. After I saw the music video, I became a huge Alice Cooper fan. He's one of the few people I've actually seen in concert live. So the thing is, I had that experience because of this movie, and the fact that I didn't go see posters a lot. I was one of those kids in the 80s who clipped out all of the ads for movies and saved them so I could show my dad where these movies were playing so that he would take me to go see these movies. I had that notebook of the 80s. I in the 90s.
I remember that. I remember that newspaper thing, going through the newspaper and seeing the movie, and then it was like that was how you saw it. Like, you wanted that newspaper,
I clipped out those articles, kept them,
me too,
and freaking told, okay, Dad, this is where the movie's playing. We need to go see it this weekend. When we going?
Right.
I did not get to see this movie at the theater, unfortunately. My parents, I think, probably thought this one was a bad influence on us. But they did take me to go see everything from The Lost Boys and everything else. But I didn't get to go see this one at the theater. But when it did come on VHS, like literally the first week it probably came out, or second week, but I'm guaranteeing it was the first week because I used to track that shit as a kid. I dare guarantee you, I must have watched this film like 5 times before I had to return that damn movie. I literally loved this movie as a kid. This was by far my favorite of the Jason movies for the longest time. I would watch this one and I would watch part 4 because the when they killed Jason with the machete in the head and his head slide, dude, I was like, it was so freaking awesome. I was like, oh man. And this one, I just love the way he kills everybody in this movie, dude.
Absolutely.
But you are right. It's slick. This movie is so. It is a product. It is better than your typical 80s slasher film because this was so slick and the music is so good and the cinematography and the editing, the way it is fast paced, yet it takes those couple moments to have that comedy bit when like every time those two kids come up and they have something ironic to say, it has that all within it, and we still get to see that great bits of gore when Jason just kills people all the time. It's
The gore is interesting in this one because I had remembered part 5 being real gory, but when I rewatched it, it really wasn't that bad. And this one here, I never remembered it being very gory, but this one had a lot more gore than part 5. I think the problem is part 5 does have kind of like a mean-spiritedness to it, and part 6 is like your buddy. It's got humor, and it's a popcorn movie, and it's like Jason. It's very efficient in what it's doing. I kind of see it as it's like the first movie, Friday the 13th, is kind of like you go into a greasy diner, and you get this weird cheeseburger that's got all this stuff falling out of it, and you go, oh my God, that's a great fucking cheeseburger. All right. And then somebody sells the recipe to like Megacore, and by the time they got to part 6, they've recreated that cheeseburger. It's not the same cheeseburger, but it is like so efficiently done. And now it's like a Big Mac. It's like you will get the same cheeseburger every time, and it is like Jason. This movie is like Jason. It's like it's like gone through the ringer, with the previous installments, and now it's like it kind of is reborn in this movie as this purely efficient movie machine. That is just like you can get a clicker and just click every time there's a scene transition that's got some kind of quirky little thing that like goes from this scene to this scene to transition the scene. Like he'll smash a bug. Or like somebody gets killed and then it cuts to a guy smashing a bug. That kind of stuff happens all over this movie. And it just keeps it going,
Right.
It's like a bolt.
Yeah. The director, Tom McLaughlin, is the director. And he actually, I watched some of his director commentary. He actually talks about how he did all that. You see that even earlier on when the kills aren't happening, but there's a lot of cuts between scenes that continue a similar thought into the next scene, even though it's not contrived enough that it actually is the same thought. It's actually something similar, but it ends up cutting in a way like that.
Yeah. So that just gives this movie kind of a momentum, or it kind of goes like, hey, look, somebody thought about that. There was a little bit of thought on how they're going to make this movie go.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting the way it's positioned here, because what happens after this in the series, it goes back to kind of a standard formula. And then it goes crazy in a stupid way. Yeah. But it's like, that's kind of like, it's kind of weird how this one is kind of where they got it right. They got it right on the fourth one for and then they got it for this time for 86, they got it right again in a different way. Making it new and seem fresh. And they bring zombie Jason, unstoppable zombie Jason to life.
But they show him, in this film, like they show him all the time because the audiences want to see Jason. Right? We want to see Jason. We want to see him kill people now, and so it's not only fun to see Jason kill people, but we're entertained and engaged in this whole trek from when he is resurrected from the graveyard to his way to Crystal Lake, which conveniently has been changed to Camp Forest Green.
Which is that now it's like every time you hear Forrest, you think Forrest Gump, So
Camp Forrest Gump.
But I do want to ask something though. I never did see this Alice Cooper music video. What was that? What was that like?
Oh my God!
You've never seen it?
No, I never saw it.
Oh, geez, it's so much fun. You do need to see the music video if you've never seen it. It was, in this time, they used to do a lot of these music videos in which the film characters would then be integrated into the actual music video. I'm trying to remember the one that they did for Freddy Krueger.
Dream Warriors.
They did I remember the Will Smith one, but they couldn't actually use Robert Englund. They had their own Freddy for
Robert
it.
Englund's in one of them. I can't remember which music video.
The Fat Boys, right?
Yeah, the Fat Boys.
Right.
The official one. It's too bad he didn't get in that Will Smith one. I guess they didn't want to deal with it. That would have been so much better.
The thing was, it was popular in the mid '80s for that to happen. So they did it a lot, actually. Yeah. And it made I used to watch a lot of music videos back then.
Oh I did too. I had MTV and I would watch them. I don't remember ever seeing
it was kind of like where they would have the band play like Alice Cooper singing it, and then they would show clips from the movie, so it's kind of a a commercial for the movie. And I think Jason shows up once.
Yeah, he shows up.
Yeah. But Kevin, you saw him live. I saw him live too about 2 years ago.
I saw him. What year it was it? I used to work at Cobb Energy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And so you just don't laugh, people, when I say this. But for my birthday, they let me come and see the show for free.
Nice.
And since I worked there, I got to be on stage as well. So after so I got to see him and all of his really elaborate fucking setup and all that type of shit. It was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because that's the great thing about working in that place. I have the key to get into any, the badge to get into any place. So that was really cool. I got to see it for free, and then I went down on stage and got to see him before he left and all that type of shit.
That's right. You got to shake his hand?
Nah, dude. Great. Yeah.
Did you get a selfie with the motherfucker?
No.
I because I work in that industry, I don't do selfies.
No, I'm kidding, man. I wouldn't do that either.
There's a lot of people who do. There's a lot of people who do. I think
if the person asked me to get in a selfie, I would do it. But if it was like, I wouldn't initiate it. I wouldn't be like, yo, can I get a selfie? It's so insincere. When you see somebody getting a selfie and the person they're getting the picture with looks like they could give a shit one way or the other, it's just insincere,
So just so the only person I've ever done that with is the Beach Boys. The Beach Boys were amazing. They were so great to us as the techs. They all wanted to get a selfie. This was years ago, because I've seen the Beach Boys 5 times now. I've done their show for 5 times. And they were freaking great. I may have grown up with the Beach Boys, but I didn't really care for the Beach Boys. But after seeing them live and getting to meet them, and they were so good with the crew, I was like, these motherfuckers are cool. I like them.
I mean, how can you not like the Beach Boys, man? They got that good feeling to their songs.
Yeah, after doing their show for so long, it's worked out. It's grown on me a lot. And I didn't listen to that type of music growing up until fucking the Alice Cooper and the Lost Boys, where I really got that type of music. I didn't really listen to that type of music.
What I wanted to ask you about Alice Cooper was, did they have Jason come out on the stage?
No, that wasn't that long ago, dude.
dude. No. I saw him 2 years ago. It was Ministry and Rob Zombie and Alice Cooper. Yeah. And it was like the Parade of Freaks tour. He's doing it again with Marilyn Manson now. Anyway, they were in Alpharetta, and I saw them. And there was a scene. When he sings, he's back, the man behind the mask, and Jason comes out on the stage, dude.
Really?
And I was going he kills he first calls somebody up on this, it's like the story is. Somebody from the audience gets up on stage and starts doing influencing type stuff, and trying to take selfies and stuff, and then Jason comes out and kills her.
Oh, that's awesome.
That would have been awesome.
I wonder if they have to clear that with the people who own the rights to Jason, or they just do it. I just hope they don't notice.
I mean, the movie. This is the 40th. That's the funniest thing. This is the 40th anniversary of this movie and everything. Shit. And I think it's hilarious that they're still referencing that connection. 40 years later.
Because this is one of the most popular sequels, in my opinion. I think it's kind of like Dream Warriors with Nightmare on Elm Street. If people talk about that one.
Yeah, I love Dream Warriors.
Like they talk about it.
Yeah.
Because it was of that time. It was of the time where they made films, and this one does the same thing, where the villain is just as popular as the actual main character. Like, we love Tommy Jarvis in this film. He has some really funny moments in this film. Yeah. Like his reaction, Tom Matthews' reactions in this film are just so damn good. Like he did in Return of the Living Dead as well.
Which was, I guess, and just a year before.
Too,
well.
But that's so. Let's dive in real quick to this opening scene where it's like to see the lightning and you see the woods, you see a cemetery. It's like a great gothic horror opening, and you got the storm brewing.
My first note is fog.
Yeah, fog. There's like fog, and reintroduced to Tommy Jarvis, played by a different actor. Every time we see him, he's played by a different actor. Started Corey Feldman. The next time it was I don't remember.
Shepard something.
John Shepard, I think.
Yeah, something.
Which he's in the fifth one, and he looks, which was fine. That was a fine jump. Corey Feldman to him because he's an older person. He looked a little like enough like Corey Feldman for it to be fine. But then here he's played by a different actor because John Shepard he declined to come back because he became a born again Christian and didn't want to do it anymore. This was only like a year later.
Let me just tell you, please, internet, come up with John Shepard's testimony at a church where he's talking about the evils of Hollywood and why he left. I mean, he probably went to different churches and said, I've given up my wicked way. Let me give you some hot gossip from the set of Friday the 13th, Part 5. I'm sure that set was nothing but debauchery. All right. And he said, like, I just can't live in this den of vipers. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But John Shepard did come back for a Friday the 13th, the series later on. Maybe.
What?
Yeah. An episode of that apparently I saw on. But he maybe. Wow. He picked a bad time to become a born again Christian, I think. You could have waited another year,
got some more paychecks. Yeah.
But I'm really happy that Tom Matthews did the role because I really like Tom Matthews. I think I like the other guy too, but this Tom Matthews. Since I think I saw this one before I saw the other one too, but I really have always considered Tom Matthews to be Tommy Jarvis. And the progression, what they decided to do, because at the end of the fifth one, as you remember, they wanted to turn Tommy Jarvis into Jason, and luckily in between the movies, they decided that was a terrible idea and they needed Jason back properly. Yeah. And so in order to do that, they make Tommy Jarvis the hero, which is a good transition. It actually makes the Tommy Jarvis character very, very interesting because he goes from a traumatized kid, to a guy in an insane asylum who's turning crazy to he's still trying to deal with that, but he's becomes a hero. Yeah. Instead of becoming the villain. And at the beginning of it, what they're doing, him and his buddy's last name's Hughes, are in the car. They've got Jason's mask, and they're going to the cemetery. They got a can of gasoline and they got shovels. They're going to the cemetery to dig him up and kind of he's still having dreams. In the fifth one, he's having these nightmares about Jason throughout the film, or he sees him. Sometimes he'll just see him pop up right in front of his face.
Yeah.
And so he's got to maybe he's just crazy, or maybe it is a telepathic link between them, and he has to go and destroy Jason's body, or this is never going to end. And that's what he thinks.
It's got closure. He needs closure.
Yeah. But it's more. I think it's more than closure because he needs to physically destroy him because he is creeping into his subconscious in a way that I think might even be supernatural. And
that's interesting,
especially since the way that he's brought back is also supernatural.
Yeah,
and nothing's ever been necessarily supernaturally confirmed in these until this one, because there's this is like a Frankenstein movie too. It reminds me of like a Hammer film, and so they get to the graveyard, and the graveyard's shot during the day and at night in this one, and it's a different graveyard. The one at night in this opening is a set. The other ones are real graveyard, but the set looks great though.
Absolutely, yeah. I didn't realize that was a set.
That's great. They had to, because of what all they had to do in the graveyard sequence, they couldn't really do it in the regular graveyard because it gets a little crazy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess that's people's resting spots.
Yeah.
But the sequence still looks really good even today. I mean, it's 30, 40 years later. Jesus.
There's also there's a scene at the beginning of the fifth one that kind of mirrors this.
Yes.
And really, it's a dream sequence, and it's a really fake looking cemetery that's from a dream, but this actually takes that sequence and makes a reality of it, and it's interesting because you see the dream one, it's like a child's dream, and they open up Jason's casket in that one. He's still got his mask on. He's got like a couple of worms, but when they see him in this one, he looks like he's got maggots and worms all over him, and it's all decayed looking. He looks like a mummy.
He's
so
all
it's like,
What this scene has is theatricality to it, which is kind of doesn't. it's almost like made by a theater kid, whereas in the previous movies, it kind of goes for some realism. It's kind of looks like just, it's kind of more of a naturalistic depiction of reality. This is very theatrical, with the fog and the backlighting and the wind and the elements and the Frankenstein monster. I mean, it's horror movie with all caps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because when you say it, it looks like the one in the fifth one looks like a theater kid put it on. This one has got like it's like they took the budget for the fifth one and they times it by 20.
No, it looks like it. That's added or aided by the production design, and I think even though Harry Manfredini did the music in this one is very different. It's almost like it has a lot more energy than any of the other Friday 13th before it. I mean, even the opening music score to this scene when they're driving to the cemetery and then everything that happens in the cemetery. It's like pumping the audience up for a movie. Dude. Yeah. It's like, I forgot how much I liked the score for this film as opposed to some of the previous ones where it kind of regurgitated some of the same musical themes, in my opinion.
But when the two guys, they're standing there, it's like weird because it's kind of weird that the friend continues to talk him out of it. He's there to help him, but he keeps going, okay, we've seen it, let's go. And he's like, no, we're digging this guy up. So it's like the friend's constantly trying to get him to leave or stop. And then they go to all the trouble to get all the way down in there, and now he's got the casket there, and then his friend's like, "Okay, now we see the casket, we can go now." And it's like, what? You might as well open it. Now that you've got it down there, you dug it up. Yes.
Yeah, it's real funny, but it's funny. That guy, it's got a totally different vibe, a lighter vibe, a more comedic vibe. But Jason's a threat, but everybody's just kind of in this, kind of got all this sugar buzz. This movie's like pop culture. Yeah. The other ones are kind of like horror movies. Yeah. This movie's like pop culture. This movie is Coca-Cola.
Yeah. I can see that's a good reference there. But he does hear, like, while he's standing there looking at the grave, Tommy Jarvis does Tom Matthews' version of it does hear Corey Feldman's voice and his sister's voice, which is kind of a cool. It doesn't show it, but it's kind of cool that they actually brought that dialogue back and the die when he's trying to kill Jason.
Agreed.
Yeah, but when he finally gets down in there, we see the maggots and all that. Then he goes. He's like, it's not enough for him. He goes and he rips off part of the cemetery gate, which is like a pole, and he comes back and stabs him, and then he leaves it in there. And there is a lightning storm going on while all this is going on. So
he starts nailing into him, and the Rorschach from Welcome Back, Carter goes, "Oh shit!" That always gets a laugh.
Yeah. And then he goes to get the gasoline, and he's going to go get the gasoline, and then it's going to be in his head. But then the lightning comes, strikes it, and it's like Frankenstein. Jason is brought to life
it happens twice.
Glorious.
Twice. Yeah.
It strikes twice.
Twice in the same place, in the same stake that Tommy's stuck into him. And maybe the whole time Jason was calling him to bring him back to life. Maybe it was like a supernatural link.
I'm not there with you, but I think that's a cool read.
Yeah.
I never read that. That's a cool read. It's a cool read.
I mean, it is an irony that you go to stop him. Think you're going to stop him, and you're going to stop him from haunting you, and instead of doing that, you accidentally bring him back to life.
It's great. He says it later in the movie. He goes like, "I was going to kill him, but then fucked up."
I know. And so then he has to find
boy, did you?
Then he comes. Then he comes to life, and then he comes out of the grave and tries to grab Tommy, and that's when
there's a great scene. It's one of those great horror movie scenes where you're going like, "Don't get in the grave! What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I got to pull it out now."
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Jason's alive. Yeah. You've seen his eye open, and you're going like, "Oh my god, what are you doing, you idiot?"
But he does do something kind of smart there because it is lightning. He has gloves, like really thick leather gloves. So he does put those, and he does, like, if you think about what he's doing here, he does have to get that metal stake out of him so they could like burn him and then cover the grave back up. Because if that metal stake's sticking out of there, everybody's gonna know what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Practical reasons to do it.
But but it's not like, but it's but it actually everything that he does make sense, because as the audience we know that he came back to life, but he doesn't know that yet.
And so, but it's a good suspense. But it is one of those. Why are you walking? Don't go up there. That kind of.
You also think that maybe Tommy Jarvis won't survive. He'll just be here at the very beginning.
Oh, like Adrian King or something.
Adrian King. Yeah.
That's what they like to do in a lot of those movies. But a lot of it has to do with the actress's availability or something for the next one, because Adrian King was supposed to be like the fifth one, that insane asylum thing she was supposed to have that plot from part 5, but then something happened where either they decided not to do it that way, or she wasn't available and they had to rewrite everything.
Wow.
But
okay.
But they actually did use the script for part 5, or part of that script, the idea from it.
Yeah.
They were putting them out so fast they had to reuse some of those ideas.
Yeah. But that's when Jason comes out, and then he comes after Tommy, and he's about to get him, and that's when he pulls out the matches, and he's going to light him on fire because he throws gasoline all over him, and then it starts raining, and then the matches don't work. It's like,
and you go like, this movie's playing by different rules. This movie's actually having fun with the material.
Yeah.
I mean, no Friday the 13th movie would have had a moment like that.
No.
Yeah. But then, like his friend, who you think has run off, returns with a shovel, and he hits Jason in the back of the head, and that shovel just breaks in half. Like it doesn't do anything. But then this is like the part that I remember really good from seeing it the first time I saw it, because then Jason turns around and he shoves his hand all the way through the dude's chest, and it comes out the back, and he's got his heart in his hand. And the guy, all this blood coming out of his mouth, and then he just drops into the coffin.
Funny,
he drops in the coffin, and then the coffin closes, and all you see is his foot. Sticking out of the coffin. And then Tommy Jarvis gets a little scared.
And then he runs off and jumps into the car, and the car actually cranks up and goes. You expect it not to go, but it just cranks up and he goes, and then Jason, who up until this point he's been looking like a zombie corpse, he picks his mask up and puts it on, and then the credits start, and then something really interesting happens to the credit. It shows the title, and then it zooms into it, and then it has his eye. It zooms into his eye, and then it's like a James Bond thing. Jason walks out there like he's James Bond and turns to the side, and then it comes on. But they actually did start trying to do very interesting things with the titles like that, and this one actually shows that sense of humor and that kind of pop culture reference to James Bond, Jason as James Bond.
Right. They know he's why you showed up.
Yeah. By the time this one comes out, that's what they definitely know, that the reason why audiences are coming to these movies is because Jason. So we need to make this up, and we need to show Jason. We can't hide behind other characters anymore. And I can appreciate that for this movie because we see him so much. And he's an unstoppable killing zombie machine.
Go ahead.
I just want to piggyback on the zombie thing. I like that. Before it's always been like, is he human? Is he not human?
Right.
And now you know that you may not be able to kill him, but it doesn't seem like you can.
Yeah. Well, he's like a Terminator now. He's like that, the whole hit with the back of the shovel where he hits him so hard it breaks the wood and everything. That would have knocked out old Jason, right? Yeah. Jason 2, 3, and 4, that would have knocked him down for a minute, and then you would have ran off, and then he would have slowly gotten back up and caught after you. And this here, he doesn't have like the Jason. He's like a machine.
Yeah.
In this one, like a soulless. Just kind of like running off, more of a killing machine. And in the other ones, he's kind of, he is a killing machine, but he's kind of, they didn't really know what Jason was, those first 3, it was like, when he kills Adrian King, he's got the sense to take the tea kettle off the stove.
That was really weird that he actually went to her house and killed her.
He knows how to find her.
That was like one of the weirdest things really of the series, that he actually leaves the camp area to go kill someone.
Exactly.
We all thought that was pretty crazy when we reviewed that film.
Yeah.
Because it was so odd. And the fact that he left the camp and he went to go kill somebody, and then I was like, he went back to Camp Crystal Lake. It was like, okay,
came back. Yeah,
So-
but
Is that ain't nobody getting out of Crystal Lake alive?
no,
Yeah.
no. Oh no.
I will say that there is one. Jason does have some sympathies. His only sympathy is for kids. He doesn't kill them right off the bat. And this is the first movie where we actually have actual kids at the camp.
Right.
But he doesn't kill them.
Yeah.
He doesn't kill
This is the first. Yeah, this is the first one since the second one that they tried to revive an actual camp.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's really like it. Yeah. So it's interesting that they did that, because after that, after the second one, like in 3 and 4, they did cabins. It was all people going to hang out in cabins for the weekend, and then the fifth one was in a mental place, which was like a cabin. Too.
Right.
Yeah.
A large cabin.
Yeah.
But after the credits, it cuts to Jason walking through the woods. He's still got that metal post with that he from the cemetery, and he plans to do something with it. Then it goes to the police station where Tommy runs in, and this is a cool like some of these other. We're talking about the fifth one, the way the cops are handled, so goofy in that one. This one, and some of them, even some, I like the way the cops are more believable in this one than most of them. And this like, even though it's funny, the dialogue between Tommy running in and panicking and trying to talk the sheriff into telling him that Jason's back, even though the dialogue's funny, it all comes off as really happening and not like a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the sheriff. Garris. I think his name is Garris.
Yeah, right.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like the sheriff in this one, and I even like this deputy too. And his little gun with the with the little
He's got like a red dot on it.
red dot on
The
it.
laser. It's like a laser
Yeah,
scope gun. That was kind of a new for this time period. It was like a new gadget.
It's still funny every time I see it.
Yeah.
It's great. It was great when I first saw the movie, and it's still great now. It makes these cops seem more modern, especially in the eyes that that Garris is trying to not bring up the bad vibes and history that place has, which is why they changed the name to Forest Hills or Forest. Is it Forest Green or
Forest Gump.
It's Forrest Gump.
It's Forest Green. It's Forest Green.
And so it makes sense for the sheriff's character is like, he's not going to believe these crazy kids coming in here, sprouting off this myth and legend that they've been trying to erase for God knows how long, because to them and everyone else, Jason has been dead and in the grave, and it has a bad reputation about that whole mass killer.
Yeah. Now Tommy in that scene, and Tom Matthews is really great in it, but the character is panicking.
Mm-hmm.
Jason's just come out of the grave, and he's literally killed his friend, and at the same time, he's been thinking he's been seeing Jason for years, and so it's kind of. But the way that he is, like, he could have handled it a lot differently and maybe convinced the sheriff, but the way that he's so forceful and aggressive with it, that it makes the sheriff not believe him at all, not even want to listen to him, to the point that he ends up, I guess at one point Tommy freaks out and tries to grab a gun off the wall, and then the sheriff has to put him in the jail cell.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting how it kind of evolves their relationship, because at first he's kind of like, this is that kid who killed Jason. He's been in an institution all this time, so he's kind of got some sympathy for him. It's like, hey man, it was really bad what happened, but you can't come in here running and grabbing guns. I mean, he really doesn't actually get really aggressive towards Tommy until his daughter comes in. He's like, whoa.
Yeah.
We got to get you out of here.
My daughter's gonna like the bad boys, but this is the wrong bad boy.
Yeah. But he's not even gonna at first he's like, well, his plan is he's gonna put him back in the mental institution. He's actually him and the other guy have come from the institution, but he's basically called them. He's going to put him back in there, and that's his plan. But then when the daughter shows up, he has to get him out of there faster.
Yeah.
And that's when he's like, "We're just going."
Yeah.
It almost is like the sheriff from Rambo. When he drives Rambo out of town,
That's interesting. I never thought about that, but that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
You're gonna bring him out of town. He can't stay in town, even.
Yeah.
But then the next scene he puts him in the jail. So the next scene is like when Jason gets to kill some more people who turn out to be two camp counselors who were supposed to be in charge of the camp.
Mhm.
One of them's played by Tony Golden,
Yeah.
who was
Who's like famous now, doing
yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
shit now. I
This
forgot
is
he
his
was in
first
this
role
movie.
too.
Oh,
Yeah,
was it his first
yeah,
role?
his first role. Yeah, it's too bad they didn't give him a bigger part, but he's pretty good in the scene.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those things where really like all of it's very interesting in comparison to part 5. They had some really goofy side characters that got killed in the way that these characters get killed, and they were always really goofy and
Right.
funny. But they have do a little bit of that here, but most of the time the side characters that get killed are much more grounded and believable.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
It's
yeah.
still, it's still funny,
yeah.
but you know,
But a different kind of funny. Like
Yeah.
it's like the in whatchamacallit, part 5, you got the guy with the candy bar and he's like Glurder, you know, and so it's more broad, cartoony.
Yeah,
And this is
yeah.
more like
Cartoony, yes.
yeah,
That's the word.
this one here, it's more like sitcom characters
Yeah.
for me. You know, it's
Yeah.
it's almost like the cast of Friends. They're like they're
Yeah,
the way they
yeah,
talk
yeah.
to each other, it's almost
Yeah.
like sitcom acting, and it's kind of like well, what is it? Well, what are we gonna do? Well, I don't know, you know, and everything. But
Yeah.
I like it. It's so funny, but it is almost like the cast of Friends in a Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah.
But no, it's just really kind of crackly dialogue. I mean, it's
Yeah.
almost like it's just a totally different kind of vibe.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because you're talking about the Darren and Elizabeth character, and they're talking as soon as Elizabeth sees Jason, she says, "Oh, whoa, 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 whoa!
Mhm.
I know enough about scary movies to know anybody with a mask is not a good thing, and she wants to get out of there. She has
That's
the
right.
right instinct. She has that
Yeah.
no instinct, and she wants to get out of there. And that makes the movie a little bit more self-aware than any of the other films before this film. So,
Well, it makes more sense though in this situation because they see the dude. He's standing in the middle of the road
Standing in the
with
middle
this
of the
big
road.
damn metal thing going to kill him with it, and so they back up, and it turns out it's raining, and they can't back up. They almost get stuck, and so the only choice they have really is to go forward, which they think they can scare him with the car. Which,
Yeah.
if it was a normal person, they probably would have gotten scared by the car, but they
It's a
but they
bug.
go towards him, and he just doesn't move.
Yeah.
And then he takes the metal pole and sticks it through the car into the tire. And
Yeah.
it says-
And can I just say
Yeah.
something about that?
Yes.
And everything. Jason's style in this movie is the way he moves with that thing, it's just very controlled
Yeah.
and mannered. He's very efficient, like a machine in this one. He's not like the groping, googly Jason from the first 4, you know. Part
Well, yeah,
3, he's
yeah.
kind of more stoic, but in
it's
part
different people playing.
Yeah.
It's almost all,
Yeah.
this actor's he's a stuntman, I think, named C.J.
Mhm.
Graham. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I like the way he plays him. Like you're right, it is.
I love the way he plays with
Yeah.
this movie.
Very methodical. And I watched one of the extra features, and I found out that this guy was an ex-Marine.
Okay,
And you
yeah,
can, you know, that kind of precision in the combat movement and
Yeah.
his control over his physicality. I was going like, oh, I can see that. You know, I was thinking
Yeah.
of part 5 where you see like Tommy Jarvis knows kickboxing all of a sudden, you know, and is beating
Yeah.
up people left and right. It's like, pa, 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 pa. You know, this is I was going like, boy, that would have been cool had he ended up being Jason. But, you know, kickboxing Jason.
Yeah, yeah.
But this Jason is kind of got this paramilitary kind of vibe in his motions and everything, which I think is a really cool thing for the character.
So, yeah, Tony Golden's character is fun. He reaches in and gets out this really small gun. Now, a gun that small is going to kill somebody anyway, but it still makes it funny because you know he's not going to be able to kill Jason with it. You know?
Even like I was like,
Yeah.
let's do it now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then
Yeah,
then
go
instead of shooting Jason just stabs that pole through him and slings him over his back. It's so awesome.
Yeah, it was like,
Absolutely.
holy
Yeah.
shit, he's
Yeah.
strong. Let me just lift him
Yeah.
up with the pole, throw him over
Yeah.
my head, and like
He goes
dude,
flying.
He went
Yeah.
flying.
Yeah.
But the actress who's still in the car at that point, her name's Nancy McLaughlin, who is the wife of the director Tom McLaughlin.
hmm
But she's pretty funny here. She
Oh,
has
yeah.
a pretty great comic timing, and then
Absolutely.
she panics and tries to get out, and he eventually he throws her into a mud puddle. And there's like a money. She tries to give him money, and an American Express card because you know
Don't leave home without it.
Yeah,
I guess that's the joke. You know?
Yeah, it
Don't
is a
leave home
joke.
without
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Apparently that was a big thing back then. They
Yeah.
had commercials of American Express all the time, and so she ends up dying, and then you see the close up of her hand and the American Express card, and don't leave home without it, and it didn't work out. But
Yeah.
one thing that's interesting about it is apparently with most of these death scenes, they did have to cut out stuff for the censors. There's more to it, to that one, and then some of the other ones too. But in general, it's like they did have to cut stuff out.
Now, it is interesting on the Shout Factory Blu-ray. There are
Yeah.
like extended cuts of some of these death scenes.
Okay.
The one in the puddle, it's kind of like it's like a couple of more seconds. They just have another angle and blood coming up and bubbles. But I'm telling you, it's just shows you at a different time of what was going on in the world because it's really kind of tame,
Well, yeah. The weird thing about those censors, and this you see that a lot in these old movies in that time. It makes some of the editing a little jarring sometimes because even like especially when someone's getting killed and it cut to someone's close up for like two beats
frames,
where it needs to be four, and it just like looks like a bad edit, and it's just like, but they have to cut out just like 2 frames, and then the censors would be like, okay, it's fine now,
Yeah, well, that's what it was like. Part 4, I watched a little bit of the commentary, and they said it was just a war of attrition, where they say like, oh, you got to cut this scene, and so they'll cut like 2 frames out and bring it back, and there's like, no, still too much, and they keep going back, and they just try to wear them down. But that's exactly, it is like bad editing. It's jarring, and when you see the uncut one, you just kind of go like, that's compared to like today's standards or what you would see on a standard issue episode of Walking Dead, it's like so tame. And you forget like these horror movies were seen as like contraband at the time. Like these were like one step above pornography, and they were like going to be seen. They were corrupting the youth of tomorrow. And so there was a real war against them, and you see it now, and it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, now it's like not even a problem. But
not even.
A lot of that Walking Dead stuff is all like CGI stuff. Unfortunately, it doesn't look nearly as good as the practical stuff.
Yeah.
The next day is the scene we were talking about, where the daughter comes into the police station. We also meet the campers. Like, so they've got like 4 people, and they're starting a new camp. What is the name of that camp? I know we find out later on, but camp. I don't. You remember what the name of it was? I guess.
What was it? What was
the name of the camp?
Was it Camp Forest Green?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's what it was.
It's Camp Forest Green. Yeah, everything's Forest Green. Everything's a big rebrand.
Apparently, the whole town was called Crystal Lake because
I don't know if that. Yeah,
isn't that like a weird name for a town, like Crystal Lake? You think that would just be the damn lake's name?
Yeah, going back and rewatching, I was going like, part 4, they said it's in Wessex County, but it's Crystal Lake, I guess. I don't know, but this movie is kind of self-referential. The town next door is Carpenter.
Yeah. Wonder what's up with that.
The town of Carpenter. Okay, got it.
So the three counselors. The daughter's name's Megan. She comes in here and starts talking to the dad, and immediately there's like an odd connection between her and Tommy. Tommy starts saying things about Jason, and he's saying it a little calmer now. It's morning now, and not crazy at night. And Jason hadn't came and killed everybody yet, but she, for some reason, is like, she thinks that he's really hot and is okay with him saying really crazy stuff about a killer. And luckily for him that she does believe him, and she's not thinking that he's crazy, because her dad actually eventually starts to think he was the killer.
Yeah.
But these the other 3 I guess they're kids. I guess you'd call them teenagers or early, like maybe they're in their 20s. The counselors that are going. We get to see them. We get to see them here, but we get to see them. We know them a lot better later by their death scenes. But there's Sissy, Paula, and Court. And Court he's got some jeans that have holes in them, and he's kind of funny the way that he's acting. Really, really. The dad, he even sits down on the counter, and the sheriff tells him to get off the counter and says something about his pants having big holes in them.
It's so well. Go ahead, Kev.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
It's so funny. Like this is like '80s teenagers. You know, they're like, what was that? Devil may care. Nothing's bothering them. They're just like the most like, let's listen to Alice Cooper and party. It's like let's have a good time. Let's play. And everything. The guy in jail is cute. The guy in jail is cute. They're just like and then you go a couple of years later and everything in the '90s and everybody's depressed in the movies. Reality bites and everybody's like, oh, there's no future.
You're so right about that. You're so right about that. This is the '80s, okay?
The 80s.
1 year later, we would get the Lost Boys after that. The perfect, yeah.
The director did mention that the wardrobe for the counselors was not necessarily what was in style at the time, but that's what his wardrobe person wanted to use. But it kind of screams '80s to me. They said it's that the wardrobe's actually come back in style and gone out of style like twice since the movie. Like,
but that's the thing is the style for these characters in here are much more almost timeless compared to part 5, where where they're like really fucking like retro age type of. I don't even know how to describe them. We talked about it in a previous episode.
There's like that some weirdness going on in general, but even like say Tommy Jarvis wears a jean jacket, which wouldn't necessarily be '80s, but it actually that's come in and back in and out of style a few times. It was actually in style when I was in elementary school. I think we were wearing.
I remember the jean jackets, man, back in the
80s. I remember the jean jackets too.
Jean jackets, acid wash jeans, and jean jackets and stuff.
Yeah. But he's got this dark jean jacket, but it's a pretty cool look for him. It actually looks.
Oh, it's a really good look.
The next scene after this, we go back to the cemetery. The first time we see it during the day, it's a different cemetery. There's a drunk caretaker that comes out and sees the grave's been dug up, and he's like, "Oh shit, I'm going to be blamed for this."
People are micromanaging the grave digger. It's like a supervisor's going to be like, "What? You can't even keep the graves."
He's always drunk too, so this is probably the closest person we have that's almost like complete comic relief from the moment he shows up, because he's always drunk every time we see him.
Well, pretty soon we're going to see the paintball guys who are even more comic relief than this guy.
But paintball that's like right there. When we come to those guys, those are like much different. But we're going to get to them in a few moments. Let's get to this guy first.
Right. Yeah. The cemetery guy actually does. I think he does like I didn't write down the dialogue, but he actually says something to camera. He actually looks at the camera. Do you remember the line that he says?
Yeah, some folks have a real peculiar sense of entertainment.
Yeah. So that's to the audience. Yeah.
Which people used to go like, what kind of sicko would watch these kind of movies?
You know what? That's you are absolutely right. I never thought about it that way, but you are absolutely right. People did used to think that way.
Yeah. The next scene after this, we see the camp for the first time in the film. It's about 20 minutes into it. The 4 counselors come to the camp, unloading groceries, and then it's said also for the first time that it is Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
and then the girl tells a little bit of the story about Jason. She's trying to scare people, and suddenly a bus drives up, and for the first time in a Friday the 13th film, we see a busload of kids, little kids.
Yeah, but you know what? That was so satisfying because I'd seen all the Friday 13th before this one when this one came out, but that was the one thing I automatically noticed is that this is the first one that actually has fucking kids at the camp.
It's like 8-year-olds or 10-year-olds or something. Maybe.
Well, it's like a regular camp that we never saw kids at. So
you're right, because all the other ones, it's like they were starting the camp, but it hadn't happened yet. They were getting close to it.
Yeah,
and the kids were talking about the kids were coming, but they weren't going to be shown on screen. So the next sequence is the paintball sequence, which is like it's just kind of close to the 5 stuff, like the over the top stuff, but it's not quite. It still works, but this sequence always stood out to me as very the performances are a lot more broader in this than the rest of the film.
So, my understanding of these is like it's a co-worker work building exercise. They've did other movies that are very similar to just this.
Yeah.
And it seems that when they do these type of things, it is broader because these people who are stuck in cubicles, this is the only fun they have, so to speak, with their coworkers. So it's funny, but it doesn't seem too far out of the realm of possibilities. It might seem that way to some people who have never experienced it before, and I didn't when I first saw this film. I thought it was weird.
Yeah, I was like, what is this?
We talk about how it was like, it's kind of like the Part 5 caricature or cartoon characters all of a sudden, but not quite there, but kind of close.
Yeah, and it is sitcom acting, I mean, it's funny dialogue. It's like, you're different when you're out here. I don't like it,
And the fact that it's, you have the one character who's very sexist because they have a female in the group, because that's that's very common for the 80s. You had these, you had women in the higher ups now, and this movie was making a comment on that fact because she's the one that wins,
right?
The main guy who has won every year finally said, "Women shouldn't be in here. They should be at home."
It cuts to him and he's having that big hissy fit. Well, the first thing happens, that she hops up and shoots the other two dudes, and they put on bandanas saying that they're dead. Then it cuts to him. He's already got a dead bandana on. He's by himself having that big hissy fit, like with a machete and chopping trees down and stuff. And the whole point of that character is to give Jason the machete, and also he also has a belt of tool that he's able to use later for some of his other things that he uses to kill people. But
I love that they gave Jason a utility belt.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just such a great idea.
Yeah, it was a great idea.
Yeah.
But so that guy, and again, this is another one of those. This whole paintball sequence is a lot more goofy than anything else that happens. But it was apparently the first thing they shot for the film. But so the guy's doing that. The Jason grabs the dude, and there's a branch sticking out of a tree. He shoves his face into the branch. The branch breaks off, and where the branch broke off on the tree, there's a random smiley face with blood on it. And it just kind of it's funny, but that is kind of like a cartoon a little bit.
It's very cartoony. It's very tonally different than anything that's ever happened in the series.
Yeah. Well, other than like maybe Part 5 stuff.
The redneck characters from Part 5.
Yeah. But I mean, these paintball guys are. I kind of like the idea, but it is different than the rest of the film. The way that they're acting in it. Then the paintball guy is the fourth kill in the film. The first paintball guy, but then it goes. First one gets killed, and then it comes back. You see Tommy Jarvis riding down. The sheriff's escorting him out, like Brian Dennehy and Rambo. He's getting him out of town.
Yeah.
And then he goes briefly, and then it comes back to the paintball guys, and then we get like a really interesting kill for one of these films where 3 people get killed at the same time,
all decapitated.
Yeah.
It's really hard to tell, because they had to cut it. But it's a really cool idea of a triple decapitation.
Yeah. And what's funny is the last paintball guy is like he sees Jason kill him, and he's like just stunned.
Yeah. What I really would have liked though is that guy looks like he doesn't, you don't see him die here. But he doesn't get away. But it's like, it would have been cool if one of these paintball people became a character after this.
Right.
Especially that last guy that's still alive. What if he got out and then ended up joining the team trying to kill Jason? That would have been cool. But otherwise it just seems like they randomly threw some people in to get killed.
Yeah, it's kind of like Part 4 with the girl with the banana and the random people that they throw. This movie does throw some really like the later we'll get to the couple that drinking. They have no bearing to anything else in the movie.
So I have an idea for that because I always thought this way. I thought that after the town had erased the history that was Jason Voorhees and all the murders, and they're now become Forest Green, and they're trying to get tourists there, that was the whole reason for this work group out in the middle of the woods, is that they changed the image for their town, and it's more like a tourist town, and so that's what places them there. It's just a random group of people working out there. I still think that all like the other cabins along there are still there that people can rent, and that's kind of like that's what my mentality was with the paintball people there, because I had to justify the reason why the couple is out there in the middle of the woods as well.
Well, there is some interesting stuff about that the director said on the director's commentary. He said what happened with the couple in the woods, that they screened it. They had the whole thing cut. They screened it, and there's not enough kills in here. We need to add some more. And they went back and shot some more shit.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I mean, that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
It's been 15 minutes. We haven't killed anybody. So.
Yeah.
But this couple is having a picnic at night. So it's
Yeah.
like, they have to be somewhere close by to do that.
Yeah.
So I had to justify that with all the characters. I was like, oh, okay, the Camp Crystal Lake doesn't exist, but there's still cabins and stuff that people can rent along the lake and blah, blah, blah. That's how I justify that. Or it would just seem really fucking weird in the middle of nowhere. These people are just out there playing paintball. It would just be weird.
I remember paintball though when I was a teenager.
It was
playing
huge.
that, and it was like a real big deal.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it sucked real bad to get hit by those damn things too. You know?
Well, now we have airsoft. But yeah, I remember paintball. Heck yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. But there's even the last guy, that real goofy guy. He's pretty funny. I do like the physical comedy that he does. And at one point, before he sees Jason, he accidentally knocks a branch off a tree, and he tries to put it back onto the tree, and then it crumbles. It's like, what are you doing? You know?
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Well, it's real funny. These are office rats, but they're also one thing they did drop is like this is like a sales team. You know, they're talking about their sales numbers. So they're doing this to get their animal instincts up.
Yeah. They're funny. I'm not saying they're not funny. They're all funny, but it just kind of sticks out a little bit.
And it probably doesn't stick out for me as much now because I've seen the movie Severance. If you've ever seen the movie Severance.
Right.
The movie Severance is the same type of group of people who are supposed to be going on a kind of a building trip.
Yeah.
And of course, they come across people who try to kill them one by one.
I like the idea of it. I'm just saying it tonally it seems out of place in this particular film. You know, just the tone of it. But I do like the idea about even like if you had the whole movie about these guys, you know, it would be fine, you know, but it's just the fact that like kind of like dog soldiers, not goofy like that, but you do have these people like out hunting something and then they become, you know, even like, what was it? One of those Wrong Turn movies had something like this going on in it. One of the sequels. But I mean, it's a good idea. I'm not saying it's not. I've always thought it was a little goofy and a different tone.
It is kind of goofy. Well, how everything else kind of leads into one another. The couple, you know, at the picnic, and this really the paintball scene could be taken out, and really you would not. It wouldn't affect the plot.
No.
No.
But that was the same with Part 5, where all the random people would just get killed there.
The weird 1950s obsessed people that were, just wandering around Camp Crystal Lake.
Remember
that was a different location. It wasn't Camp Crystal Lake. It was some other random place.
When we talked about Part 5, and the reason why there's so many freaking deaths and kills is because they felt obligated to have like someone get killed like every 5-10 minutes. So there's so many people getting killed in Part 5. So
this one,
for that for this one.
But this one has about the same count. This one has 18.
Wow!
But 3 of them get killed at one time.
Chop.
So it's like they have more of that, like the 2 people getting killed later at one time, but this one actually, anyway, we'll get to it as we get to. But what happens next? The sheriff's trying to get Tommy out of town, and Tommy sees a sign. It cuts. Then this is one of those cuts where it's, he's chasing the dude, and then it cuts to this sign about the cemetery right here. And then so Tommy goes to the cemetery, gets out, and the cops chase him. and then they throw him to the ground eventually. There's like a pretty good chase in the cemetery itself, and
Yeah,
that's
it's
when
like a
that gun.
maze.
Yes, yeah,
It's
yeah,
really
yeah.
elaborate.
You see him get confused. You see
Yeah.
Tommy gets confused as he's running through the grave. I like that. I like
It's a lot easier to find the grave at night than during the day. So it's
Yeah, I mean it's like Labyrinth. I mean it's like it's really interestingly blocked, you know, with the two cops and them zigzagging around through the shot. I mean, I'm going like, all right. I don't know if that chase would have lasted that long in real life, but cool. It's pretty cool.
It's
right.
the photography, you know.
How they play that out.
Yeah, how they did it was really cool.
Yeah. He said, Tom McLaughlin said when he was shooting that scene that they actually had a crane shot, and it was really one shot, and they like cut it differently, like so to make it longer. And I think they cut some other cutaways of the cops or whatever. But they actually used it was just one shot, and they made it look like it's a long chase scene.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
good job.
Yeah, but then that's when that scene happens when the deputy gets out the gun with the laser pointer, and it's pretty extreme reaction to have the gun out and having a laser pointer pointed at his head.
I love that. It's like, oh, now you done it.
Yeah,
that's the reaction. The sheriff says, "Oh, now you done it." You allow my deputy to play with his new toy.
Yeah, he's like, wherever the red dot goes, or something like that. You know.
Yeah, wherever the red dot goes.
Yeah.
Bang.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's fine.
Yeah, no.
I'm not, dude. I love that.
I love it. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's hilarious, and this, like I said, this film has a sense of fun with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. But then, I mean, obviously the cops are there. They don't have to worry about the body cams. They can do whatever they want. It's just them and Tommy. So
That's it.
Yeah. I mean,
but luckily, all they want to do is get him out of town. Even after this, they're not going to. They don't even want to arrest him. They don't want to deal with him being in town at all. They don't care that he's tried to steal a gun or that he jumped out of the car and ran through a cemetery. They just want to get him out.
Person out of here.
Yeah, but they do also see the grave that the caretaker's covered up, and the caretaker even shows back up, and they ask him about it, and he's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I don't know. Everything's fine. Nothing weird happened here.
Yeah. But then the next scene after that, we see the counselors, the three women are have the girls, and they're underprepared because they're expecting like the other two people to be there, and apparently they were just supposed to be backup and not really doing too much, but they're not handling it very good. They're actually very unsure about what they're doing, and it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny, but it
is funny. You know, what's our main one, Megan, and is trying to
the sissy.
They're trying to what do you call it? Motivate campers.
And they're almost like questioning. Everything they say is like ends with a question mark, you know. And it's just you know.
Yeah.
Well, I think what's funnier is Court, who's off with the boys.
Yeah.
This is what the Indian rocks mean, the little squads. And the kids the men over there. Oh man, this is gonna be
this is the Econo camp, you know.
Those two men, those two boys who show up multiple times in the film that have those little sides like that. It's just priceless. It's
pretty it's pretty bad if a kid starts noticing that you don't know what the hell you're doing. You know it's not going to go good. The kids are actually pretty good like judges of that sort of thing too, because they are always in these type of classes, and when the teachers typically have the shit under control, when somebody doesn't, they can tell.
Yeah.
This but apparently what the director was saying about the part with Court is that he had something else written there, but Court, the actor, just improv that scene with the rocks, which is pretty cool. But he actually, the director wrote the script too, which gave him the ability to let the actors improv because he didn't have to be married to. Sometimes when you're working with a script and someone else has written it, so if that person who wrote it like is really sometimes they really want you to do the script and they get pissed off, but it wasn't the case here. It works out really good if you've written the script yourself and you're directing it. Have a lot more leeway on what's going on.
No, I love the court character. I think that character, that actor, and that character just have so much fun in this film. And it's funny that you said that scene was improv because the actor does a really good job of selling his character in that scene to these kids. He might know what he's talking about, but we all know he really has no clue. He's
Yeah, it's a certain type of teenager that you just don't really see in movies. You used to see them all the time. These type of dudes. This kind of type. You used to see it in like all these teenage movies back in the 80s, and then that type of teenager just stopped. It just dissipated. And I don't know what kind of teenager you got now, but but it's
we're too far removed.
Well, most of them are looking at their phones.
You
see them, or they're like social media influencers.
It's like, this is like an MTV kid. This is like an 80s MTV kid.
Yes, and that's exactly what the court character is, especially in the later scenes when he's all jamming and music. Oh, like, right. He's an MTV kid. You're right. That's exactly
So it's gone away.
But this the next sequence is the Rambo scene where the cop brings him out onto the side of the highway,
right,
and then tells him to leave, and it seems like maybe he might leave. But, I guess that's it for him for the movie.
Oh well, Tommy Jarvis just drives off.
Yeah, I guess.
Hey, I tried. Out, they're on their own.
Yeah,
let them handle it.
He's like, "Good luck, everybody."
I would say I would put my little lawn chair out, grab my little bag of popcorn, and I'm just gonna listen to everybody who gets killed over the next couple days.
I say, "I told you so. I told you so."
Oh my god.
And then the next sequence is the added sequence when there wasn't enough deaths. The first part of it is the drunk caretaker is randomly walking through the woods, drinking and singing as he would be. Mm-hmm. And then he gets killed. Well, maybe he's just walking home after digging, like doing his grave stuff. I guess he probably don't do too much digging. I mean, but
that's why I assumed he was walking home from the graveyard.
Yeah.
I mean, had he lived?
I gotta think of, like, that's the thing about this sequence. This sequence feels a little out of place because he gets killed by Jason, but Jason by now should have gotten way far away from the actual gravesite where he was from. Like, that's the next day. Like, he shouldn't be anywhere near the grave the next day because he's already killed the camp counselors the first night he was reborn. And I was like, that's the only thing that throws me off.
But we get a pretty cool death, and we get an okay death.
So that's gonna mess with me now, Kevin. Since Jason came alive, he's been power walking through the woods for 2 days, and now he just comes across. Oh, I forgot to kill that grave digger.
He circled back around.
Circled
back around.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
it's like Dave thinking now. Dave was like, "Oh, damn, Kevin, you just screwed up my whole thought processes with that."
No, I just got something else to say about it. I was just thinking about it, because it is funny, and it obviously, like I said, it is an added scene.
Yeah,
it wasn't in the original movie, and they needed and it makes it worse the more you think about it, really, because it's like the caretaker walking through the woods, and I don't know. Maybe I don't know how close the camp is to the graveyard, though, because that's where he eventually wants to go. He wants to go to the camp.
Yeah, but he's on his way. The whole movie is him going from the grave to the camp. And so that it only makes me think about it because you brought it up with the fact that this was an added scene. If you had not told me it was an added scene, I wouldn't have thought about the logic behind it.
And this is the second. I wasn't here for part. I haven't been for the other ones though. This is the second one where Kevin's being upset about the geography of Jason has thrown him out of the movie. All right. With part 4 where he's upstairs and then downstairs he's going like, this movie's messing me up. Where's Jason? Jason?
Well, he can't be with the Well, all right. Let's fix it. The caretaker guy has a car He was driving drunk, and it conked out like they always do in
God.
these films. Now he's got to walk through the
Now
woods.
he's got to watch. That's
Yeah.
it, Kevin. The guy was driving. He knows he's got 2 DUIs, and so he's like, "I better get out. I'm trying to
And walk home.
I'm
do a
60.
random
I'm
trail.
65 years old. I'm too old for this. I'm gonna walk home."
Yeah. There you go. We fixed it. But like,
Okay, let's go.
but all right. I don't know if you can explain this next part. So there's these 2 random teenagers out in the woods with wine.
These are not really
champagne.
teenagers, though. These are 20 somethings. These 2.
They're teenagers, but they're 42 years old.
It's hard. It's the 80s. You know,
And
all teenagers were 42.
one of them's named Steven. And, I wrote the other one's name down, but her
I had them down too, but
Annette, hers their name. So yeah. So they're there, and it's like something like teenagers would be doing. Apparently, they couldn't get teenagers to do this scene. They had to get these other dudes.
well, they're riding the motorcycle, so I never thought about them as being teenagers.
No, these are more like 20 somethings. These are more like these are more like yuppies. They're more like yuppies. They got the you know, they're trying to do a romantic evening.
Yeah, they're doing a romantic wine, and
But he's got to have a ring. And,
There's some kind of funny dialogue there.
It's
He's like
very funny.
he's trying to have sex with her, and he's already tried to say something about it, and then she's kind of gotten a little upset, and now he's trying to make it up to her, and she's like, "Oh hell, we just might as well just fucking have sex," you know.
He goes like, "It hurt me." You know,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
kind of like these like you know, this movie has like these like you know, sensitive male characters in it, you know.
Yeah.
But
Then it comes. Then we see because the drunk guy's pretty close to him. He's walking through the woods, and then a
he would've
rock.
walked in on him.
Yeah, no, he almost does, but a rock rolls down the mountain and hits his leg, and he's just like, "Where the hell did that rock come from?"
Yeah.
And then he goes to drink. There's nothing left. He's like, "Fuck, I'm out of drink," and he throws it, and it never lands.
Yeah.
It's like, holy hell, what the hell? And then he turns around, and there's Jason. He's got his bottle, breaks it, shoves it into his neck.
I always wondered, damn, Jason's a really good. He could catch really good.
Yeah.
It's got its movie
movie logic.
it's frictionless. You know, we gotta make it movie like. You know,
Well, it's
So,
cool. Don't get me wrong.
It's cool.
I thought that was a cool. I mean, think about this. Those 2 things happening. That's kind of that rock coming down the hill like that. That's not normal Jason behavior. You know, to kind of fake somebody out. I mean, I don't even know if he did that. Maybe that just randomly happened. But you know,
Well, he was walking and he
Just walking and kicked the rock.
because that rock comes from further away. But Jason Cab, that's pretty crazy. You throw that thing behind you, and then it never lands, and it's
a
just
great setup.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's a great setup.
Apparently, it was a much gorier scene. Is it on the special features, like the extension of that? Because the director said they had a bunch of blood coming out of his neck, and the censors were like, "Nope, that's not happening."
that got lost and everything. Because
it's a little drip.
Yeah, in the cut version, in the version is the bottle sticking out, and it would have been cool had it been coming out of
it was
neck.
a little bit. It was dripping a little bit, but he said it got like it was a lot better, like their original take of that. But it's they had to tone it down, and also it's held like a really short time. That's one of the really short ones that's held like way too short because it's almost like you don't know what's going on when you see it.
Exactly. And it's like it's so frustrating because you see in the credits there's like 6 people credited to like makeup effects, and then it all goes away because of the MPAA, you know. It's like all that work lost.
Yeah, it sucks. I like it when they restore stuff sometimes and put it back in there, but it's not the case here. But this
I don't think they've done like an unrated cut like they did with Jason Goes to Hell. And
well, the director actually said that footage is probably lost. He didn't even know where it was in the commentary. But then the guy and what happens there? Then the guy and the girl, he hears all that going on. The guy, Steven, walks over there and he walks in on Jason just standing over the dude, and he's like, "Oh hell, I better get out of here."
Yeah.
It-
Well, this is a little different. Jason actually disembowels people. I mean, dismembers people in this movie.
Yeah.
It's like he kills them, and then he's like, "I'm not done. I gotta chop them
Yeah,
up
he-
now."
yeah.
You know, it's a little different. He
Yeah,
didn't
he's having
really
a good
do that
time
in
with
the
the
other
whole
ones.
thing,
Yeah.
And he's not
enjoying
just
his
like
work.
killing them. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
He's a good friend of Leatherface. He's learned.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
But then this is like that other short, like they get back on their motorcycle. It looks like they're going to get away, and he walks out and just like, unlike when we talked about the Mummy the other day, very similar scene. But the Mummy would never have caught them; they would have gotten away. But he just walks up and stabs them both with a machete.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah. If there's been the Mummy, they would have been fine.
In this movie, Jason is pretty fucking fast. He turns
It's like
one
doing
way, he's far away. Next thing you know, he's right on top of you.
Yeah.
Like even when the camp counselors, the two get killed earlier on, he disappears from the front of the car to jump right on top of her to impale her. Jason can move in this movie. He's fast. So
Yeah.
and we see that throughout this whole movie too, which is actually kind of cool. I actually like that aspect.
Yeah,
He's not like part 4. He's like got this lumber and run.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And this one here, he's like power mall walking the whole time. You know.
He doesn't run. He's gonna walk like, with a brisk walk, like you say,
That's
power
right.
walk.
That's
yeah,
right.
it's
Zone 3, baby.
Yeah.
You know, right?
the next sequence is it goes back to the camp. We see the kids some more, and for some reason they brought their hamsters with them to camp.
Oh yeah.
Which is an odd thing, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We didn't do that in my camp, but I I
You
don't know.
Hamsters
I
are a
never
pain in the ass, really. We had one briefly, but they don't live that long. They live about 2 years. That's their lifespan. But you don't just bring them with you to places.
No.
They smell too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
I don't
Because
want
you weren't
hamster.
cleaning its cage out, Dave.
I was
Yeah,
cleaning.
yeah.
You clean that cage, it's gonna start smelling like they'll poop again, man. You're sitting in there, that cabin with all these other kids in there, and the hamster's gonna be pooping on that cage. You know,
No way. I'm all
Oh,
right.
Jesus. I can't believe that's what you take away from that scene is the hamster.
well, they got
Yeah,
their,
that place was stink.
So some kid's gonna be allergic to a hamster.
Oh,
There's
man.
gonna be an allergic. Now maybe not them. Now everybody's allergic because of the shit they're putting in our food. So they're
That's
now
right.
we're allergic to shit.
Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's like they store peanut butter next to the radon gas now.
yeah.
They don't think. Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
then this is like the sequence that happens next is like one that's really like awesome. It's like the court character, not the first part of it, but he's in this RV.
Oh,
Wait,
right.
before that happens, you see the girls at the camp. They're the two girls are the only two there, and they're playing cards.
Well,
Yeah. And then they're at where's Court? And he's like, he's hanging out with this random chick in an RV having sex.
things that go bump in the night.
Yeah.
Right.
And
There's
then
a lot-
listen,
I love the dialogue in this movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then they're having this really intense sex. She's got the music on, and she's just on top of him, just slamming down hard. And he's just like, "How long is this song gonna last for?"
Yeah. He's like, you got to go until the end of the song.
Yeah.
It's like 10 more minutes.
Which is a situation you wouldn't normally see the male character in. So it's funny that this is happening to him in this film. I mean, it's hilarious. I fucking loved it.
Yeah. And then Jason walks up and cuts the power to the RV, and it's funny too. Because at one point she's just like, he couldn't hold back. She was doing it too hard, and he had to come. So it's like she makes a comment, you know. It's like,
Are you done already?
Yeah, something like that. Or did you already? But
Yeah, like you ruined my song.
Yeah.
We're having a good time. We're supposed to wait till the end of the song. Yeah.
But she has to
That was
talk him. She has to talk him into going back out to plug the RV back in. But he asked the question of who unplugged the fucking RV. It's
That's smart.
No, maybe a bear or something came by and just pulled it out.
Yeah, she's like, I don't know. Just go plug it back in. But she actually is pretty. It's a pretty funny the way that she does it. She doesn't do it like demandingly. She gets really cute acting and kind of like pleading with him a little bit. She's too she's not going to go out there and do it himself. And so it's kind of a funny dynamic between those two characters, even though it starts off as like this ridiculous sex scene, but then that's then they goes out and he finds the cord which is plugged into the RV. Then basically he goes to the RV first instead of where it would be plugged in further away, and he looks and it's plugged in the RV still. He's following the cord, and suddenly she walks around the RV, and it's like you think it's Jason, but it's not. It's her. And then he notices that the thing's cut, and so they're like, okay,
well, no, that cut pulled apart.
Yeah.
Jason doesn't cut it; he just pulls it straight out.
Pulls it apart, yeah. So then they go. Then surprisingly, they go back and get in the RV. And are able to drive away. And then hilariously, he's driving like shit. And this is like probably how I would be. I did drive an RV like this one time because they're kind of hard to drive. But she's like falling back and she's like, I will drive. And he's like, I got it. And then she like falls all the way back onto the bed. And then
it's funny because Court turns on the music real loud like he would at any other type, because that's the type of character he would be, and he's just jamming. After having sex, and he's taking the girl back to wherever they're gonna go next, jamming because he gets to drive an RV for the very first time, which is what he comments on.
He's having a lot of fun with it. It's a pretty clever way to disguise the kill that happens in the RV, because that music and him driving, like he may be having a little too much fun driving the RV. I'm not sure how much fun that would actually be, but maybe he likes it a lot. I didn't think
he's having a really great.
Hey, this is the 80s. This is the 80s.
Like everything's fun.
Yeah, everything's fun.
Everything's fun in the 80s. In 1986,
plus,
everything was a blast.
Everybody didn't get to drive these back then, so he thought it was his first time driving it. He's going to be jamming with it. Of course, Jason's already inside the little camper.
Yeah.
Which is how fast this guy is. He's first in the forest, then he sneaks around inside the camper while they're both outside, and then he.
Right. But she comes.
There's Jason.
Yeah. She's on the bed. Yeah, she's on the bed, and then she gets up and she's like, "Fuck, I'm driving." She's walking towards the front of the RV, and suddenly the bathroom door opens. Jason grabs her and pulls her inside. And I remember this scene was on the trailer, not the trailer, on the commercial. I remember for 46, whatever channel it was on, and it actually showed her wrestling with him inside she was wrestling inside the RV, like an overhead shot. It's a pretty cool shot. And then,
I love that shot. Yeah.
Then he eventually takes her, and there's a mirror, and he like smashes her face into the mirror, and on the other side of the RV wall, you see her face, like the indention of it. It's a cool shot.
Yeah. Dude, I've always loved that whole sequence. I think that's why I said this. I think this is one of my favorite films in terms of the cinematography, and this film particularly, because all the death scenes are really cool the way that they are handled.
And this is like without seeing blood or gore, it's actually more gruesome seeing her face come through, the dention of her face coming through the RV wall like that.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, it was a clever way to do it where they didn't have to cut it and you get the impact. And I never got before that was a view from outside the RV.
I think I don't know what it is. I think it's behind the picture, because like when you cuts to the front shot, it like where that mirror is positioned, it would be there's a picture on the other side of it, but it's obviously the way that this is probably an insert that they probably added that like shot of her face coming through the RV wall, which would not look like that if you had the picture and you were shooting behind it, because it would have the picture in it. But you don't think about it too much. But like looking at the continuity of how the scene goes, it does look like it should be right behind Court's head.
I see.
And you actually see the picture move in a way that it kind of implies that it's behind it.
Huh.
But
because I thought from the lighting, it looked like maybe that was supposed to be outside. Like I thought I saw like leave go by, or like the lighting. Like they tried to make it light, like it was. But you're right. I don't think it would have been the outside wall.
Yeah, the outside wall wouldn't have been beige like that. Of course, it's not going to look like that behind the picture either. But the outside wall is probably going to be like white and look a little different.
I always assumed it was outside wall. Interesting. I have to rewatch that just to see again.
I mean, maybe I'm mistaken about it too, but I was thinking it looks like But it's so then. Then he comes out and he has a big hunting knife. It's a pretty damn big one.
And his
Yeah.
utility belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He comes up behind Cord and just stabs him in the head.
Yeah, but it's
Which-
really cool the way they show that, because
Yeah.
it's almost like a close up wide shot. You see in the close up frame on the right side, you see Court, and then you see on the other side
Yeah.
Jason slowly step out of the shadows as he walks closer to him. And
Yeah.
every once in a while they do the reverse angle where before he sees Jason, Court's looking back in the mirror to see where his girlfriend is. But
Right.
he doesn't see her because she's in the bathroom, obviously getting killed, but he doesn't know that. He just sees the door keep moving because it's moving back and forth.
What, you
That
guys-
was-
what are you doing? Taking a shit?
Yeah.
That whole sequence, the way it is edited, I really think that's a really great shot. And then, of course, like you said, the freaking knife, the hunting knife, goes straight in the Court's head, and then we see him just limp over.
It was funny. What's funny is like
crash.
he's thinking that she could be in there taking a shit when he's driving like the thing's so crazy.
Yeah.
But-
He's
But
talking to himself the whole time. This is so much fun. I love this. This is the greatest thing ever. I can't explain it.
Well,
No,
think about it. They're in a small little town with a road to nowhere, and they were the only ones at the campsite. With their RV. There's no one else out there. So
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
we
then-
discussed with the other one that Friday the 13th kids are not Elm Street kids. These are working class kids who are from the wrong side of the tracks.
most definitely.
Yes,
Jeez.
sir.
It's a really cool effect with this RV. The RV, it shows the outside on the road, and the whole thing, it rides off the road and then turns onto its side. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool they're able to accomplish that.
Yeah, and that was in the trailer. That was a cool
Yeah,
scene.
yeah.
I will always remember that for the trailer when they showed that. It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
cool seeing Jason standing at the top of this fucking
Yeah.
RV.
Yeah, because the
Turn
RV
the
catches on
road.
fire and he comes
Yeah,
and stands
dude.
on top of it.
It's pretty epic.
It takes them forever, the cops, to notice that this happened. You'd think they'd be on it a little quick. They have it quicker.
But it's in the
than
middle
they
of
were.
nowhere, dude.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that this town is really small because we only really see the sheriff and the one deputy all the time, and then the other two deputies are probably on patrol somewhere. So someone it takes a while for them to get notice of the camp counselors who they find dead, and then of course what happens to Court and his girlfriend in the RV. Like, it's not immediate.
Right, it takes them a long time, but you'd think this RV thing with this fire would be like pretty stand out. The counselors seemed like they were killed on a back road where
Yeah.
this looked like it was like a main road the way the RV thing was going, but I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe there's only two people that live on the street. Or
Have you
something.
been to Camp Forest Green? You know those back roads. Those back roads are empty all the time.
Yeah. But then the next sequence is actually when they get that call. The sheriff's back there with his daughter, and she's going like, "Oh, Tommy Jarvis this and Tommy Jarvis that," And he's like, "I don't want to hear about Tommy Jarvis anymore." And then the phone rings, and it's like, then she finds out about the other two people, the first counselors that were killed in the middle of the road, in the middle of nowhere. So apparently nobody ever drives down that road.
Yeah, it was a crappy road.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that really was a dirt road. That was like literally a dirt road.
road. That was a dirt
so,
road.
Yeah.
Which seemed a little odd going to a mainstream campground where a bus is going to be dropping all the kids off.
They
But
got lost.
They're
though.
lost. But
Yeah,
they're
they got
lost.
lost.
They're
So,
lost.
yeah.
They're lost. That's right.
Yeah. Then all the cops leave. Well, this is a big deal. This finding these dead people in the cars. All the cops leave, and he leaves the daughter at the police station by herself. And then we find out that Tommy can read books in the next scene.
Oh,
It's like,
Dude,
it's
that,
really
that,
funny.
It's that research scene.
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
see so often in movies where the protagonist has to do his research to get into
Yeah.
the mental capacities
That's
of
right.
the plot of the film.
yeah,
Right.
This
I was
is-
going like
yeah.
the manual of occultism, and I was going like, okay, undead killer.
yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that he was able to find those books at that late at night.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He's like
Very.
sitting in his car reading it, and no light, and maybe
Yeah.
the car light or something.
Yeah.
But
But it
it's-
gives
Nowadays it would be like, hey
inspiration.
Siri, how do I kill Jason?
yeah. He's got a lot of books, and
Yeah,
he has like 20 minutes to read all of them. So
Yeah.
Well, he's been there for a while. I always assume that in the time that the sheriff dropped his ass off on the outskirts of town, he did all that, and he's just been sitting there reading that shit.
these are big books, man. These
cut back
aren't
to-
like little
Yeah.
magazines. These
No.
are like friggin' like
We just
Big
skip
ass
that
books.
shit, dude. You find the important stuff.
Yeah.
I think there's probably some
Index.
pictures in there, maybe.
Oh, there's probably pictures. Yeah.
Pictures of a man return him to his rightful resting place.
And I was watching it this time. I was going, man, they used the same thing the next year for Freddy. You got to bring him back to. You got to bury him. You got to put him in his back in the grave or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But that's he does some power reading, I guess, or I don't know if you call it power reading. What do you
Speed
call it?
reading.
Speed reading. There you go.
Speed
Yeah,
reading.
yeah.
He does
Yeah,
speed reading, which
And he figures it all out. Luckily, he got to the best parts because he does come up with a plan that works temporarily, at least till the next movie. But but then this is hilarious though. But then he calls the police station. His intention is to try to talk the sheriff and to say, he's like, I read these books and I figured it out. And he thinks the sheriff's going to listen to him. He's going to call the sheriff. You know?
The sheriff that loves him to death. It was like, okay, you got me. I'm listening.
Yeah.
Well, he thinks he can convince him. Like, he's not. I think he's still hoping, although not hoping, that someone will get killed by Jason and that everything will come to light. Unfortunately, when it comes to light, they think that he did it.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of interesting. It's almost like he's getting like part 5 is saying like he's going to be the killer, and then part 6 he's not the killer, but he's being framed as being the killer.
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. It actually works. But then it's actually nice to see a payphone because he doesn't have a cell phone because they're not out yet, and so he has to use the payphone on the side of the road like we used to have to use.
Absolutely.
And it's like, it's funny because it's like I'm watching it and not thinking anything about it. Then I'm started thinking, I was like, I bet you if like kids or like younger people were watching this, they would be like, what is that phone on the side of the road? Like he's just in a box talking on a phone. Why don't he just use his cell phone and call her, you know?
Yeah.
But which he actually calls to talk to the sheriff. But luckily for the script has the sheriff out of the office and the daughter answers the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And
she's like, hot damn.
Yeah.
After she's balancing on her at the desk, trying to balance herself in a chair, which I always thought was weird. And then she, of course, when she gets the call, she falls backwards. It just seems to be an odd thing. But hey, who knows? I don't know what young girls do when they're in the, their dad's police station just chilling.
That's what they do.
Yeah, she does a good job.
This was very researched. This is very researched, and he found out that's what they do.
I got to tell you, given what she has to do in this movie, she does a really good job of selling it.
She's
really adorable the whole time. You know, she's really good.
Yeah, because we were watched Leprechaun 4.
Yeah.
And we talked about that yesterday, and we were talking about a similar thing where the actress had to do some things, and she just doesn't. You could tell she didn't have this type of enthusiasm about the script, or just being like, it had overthinking it. Overthinking this. You can't overthink this. If she overthought this and tried to do something with this character different than just be this bubbly kind of having fun, like the guy who's possibly a serial killer is cute, so she believes him.
Right.
It's like
he seems innocent.
It could have come off pretty bad had she tried to play it with some of a serious edge, especially earlier on.
Absolutely.
No, I think that's a testament to the director's ability to kind of get every actor on the same page in terms of the tone of the movie that he crafted.
Yeah.
I agree.
But then Jason returns to camp for the first time since the last time.
He's been away from camp. He's been away from camp for a very long time, and it's got a new name.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
they've
cool, though.
rebranded everything. Yeah, it is interesting because you kind of think about what is the timeline here between part 4, where he was just killing everybody, like from part 2 to part 4 is kind of a compacted period of time,
Mhm.
and then it's been let's say 10 years. It's been a decade since Jason has walked the streets and everything. So I mean, it is kind of a cool idea, it's like he's like the boogeyman of that area, but he's dead, he did all these bad stuff, he's been gone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a cool shot too, because you get the outside of the camp. You see it's this Camp Forest Green. You got like it looks like that Ernest Goes to Camp sign outside of the camp at that window, and he steps into the shot, and Jason's back. It's about
back in his home
ground.
Yeah.
Well, we've been waiting for this for several movies now. Him getting back to his camp. So yeah,
for real.
Absolutely. Then the next scene is the crime scene when there's a bunch of cops and they blew the budget on this scene.
They got 2 deputies.
There's actually a lot of there's cops from other counties there and stuff. There's actually a pretty good bit
later. We'll see some of them later. So
there's a pretty good bit of it's a big deal because 2 people have been murdered in these cars and
they find it first though. They find the other one afterwards.
And then they find that last paintball guy that we thought might have gotten away. It identified by his body parts because he's wearing these really goofy socks and they're still on his feet that are dismembered.
And his glasses.
His glasses. The glasses was like, it might be him. We saw those socks, and it's like, we've identified this character.
Hilarious. I never connected the socks. I always used the glasses. But
I use glasses too, but you're right. The socks,
The
socks are goofy, though. They're like a gray sock with a really bright red stripe on them, and they look. He has them pulled up over his friggin' pants.
Oh, and the other thing is they kind of I think they play that dude's music for like a couple bars. That's him too.
And then they say this little bit of dialogue. The deputy Rick says to the sheriff Mike, he says, "You pulled this shit on the right day," and he's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Happy Friday the 13th."
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
The previous movies, we didn't know what fucking day they took place on. This one, we know is on Friday the 13th.
Okay, so now riddle me this, Batman. Okay, so in the first one, that takes place on Friday the 13th on Camp Crystal Lake. All right, at Camp Crystal Lake. All right, at the camp. In part 2, it's like another camp that's down the road, or like a little bit further down the lake.
They try to like reopen it with a different name.
No, it's a different camp. It's a different camp. It's a different camp. Right. It's kind of like the evil camp from Meatballs, It's like it's another camp down the lake.
But they haven't opened it yet. They've gotten there. It's kind of like the first one. It's like they're trying to open the camp.
Trying to get it going. Right. So, but it's not Camp Crystal Lake. It's another camp down the lake. And then part 3, it's like somebody's log cabin in Southern California.
They have like a barn. They have like a big barn and shit too.
There's a barn. Barn. Not Camp Crystal Lake. And then part 4 is like 2 cabins. Not Camp Crystal Lake. Maybe it's just on this big lake and everything, but it's not
Camp
Crystal Lake. Now, and it's probably not Friday the 13th because these movies kind of happen sequentially almost, besides
the fourth one possibly could have been, though they never mention it because there is a time lapse. Remember, because what happens in between the opening the opening sequence of part 4 is actually it takes place right after the end of part 3. But then there is like a time jump in between. It could have been a week later. It's probably not. It's probably weeks. It can't be Friday the 13th because you never have Friday the 13th twice in one freaking month. So it's not Friday the 13th. It's some other day.
So what I'm saying is part 6 is the first time we really have Jason Voorhees at Camp Crystal Lake on Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Because obviously the first movie, Jason's not in it, so
yeah.
It took him a long time, didn't it? 6 movies.
Man, part 6 to finally get.
I've never thought about that logic until now, dude.
That's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah,
That's why this is like the definitive one. It's just like they got everything lined up right.
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus.
Then they go into the camp, and Jason he walks into the camp, and the first thing he does is he takes the machete and slashes the telephone cord so they can't use the phone.
Mm-hmm.
It takes him a long time to realize the phone doesn't work. And then like the two counselors, like Sissy and Pamela, or not Paula.
Paula.
Yeah, Paula's asleep, and then Sissy senses something outside of the window, and this is kind of like that. It's kind of odd because it's warm enough that they have the window wide open, and they don't have to worry about the glass. Like in part 4, they broke a lot of glass. They decided not to worry about it as much in this one. So
yeah, Joseph Zito directed this one. There would have been glass.
Yeah. But they have the doors open and the windows open. And I would be worried about friggin' bugs coming in that cabin myself. But yeah, but she goes to the window, and he grabs her and pulls her out. And this is like of course it's censored somewhat. And I always assumed because I was watching regular television that it was censored. But he pulls her out, and the other girl wakes up and kind of hears some noises, but she thinks it's Court and her, and assumes that they're playing pranks, even though it's the middle of the night. And then he takes her head and twists it all the way around, and then pulls it off of her body, and is sitting there holding her head. So it's
it's pretty cool. Yeah, like a corkscrew, like unscrewing a bottle. Yeah.
Because of his super strength. I'm like, dude, he's vicious in this movie.
He's like ultimate Jason.
Yeah. And then after that, like it goes to the gas station again, and Megan shows up there in her red, was it a Corvette or something like that?
Yeah,
orange Corvette. She shows up there, and he just wants to take her car. He's like, "Thanks for bringing the car by," and she's like, "No, I'm going with you. I'm driving." So but somehow at some point he makes her get him a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
like, and I don't know how. I guess I don't even know if there's a Walmart or what in this town. I don't know how she gets it, but
at that gas station, is that not a general store? Or
it's closed. Where he's at is closed. So she says that when we see them again and they're driving, she says says she's got him all the stuff that he asked for. So in between that whole time where Jason's killing other people, they've gone to wherever they went to grab everything he needed, which hasn't that much. It's a thick ass chains and some padlocks, and that's pretty much it. He has a little sack.
He's got gasoline. Like she had to buy a gasoline can and a big rock. She probably bought that big rock. No, I'm just kidding.
We'll go to the big rock store.
Yeah.
Well, interesting though. The gas station it's Karloff's.
That's it. Karloff's. Yeah.
So we're referring Frankenstein a lot with lightning and things.
Yeah. I'm sure that was that.
Yeah.
Nice.
And one more, we'll get to it, but during the chase sequence later, they're playing Teenage Frankenstein.
Oh yeah.
Great.
Then it's like we see the kids in the cabin. There's like a little girl that we've established earlier named Nancy, and she's sitting there awake. All the other kids are asleep. We see the hamsters again. It was nice to see them again.
Yeah,
but then Jason walks by the window carrying Sissy's body without a head on it, and the little girl's like sees him. It's just like, holy moly, what's going on?
She gets scared, and then of course she ends up going into the main cabin where Paula is after finding a bloody machete, which I thought was great.
Yeah, because you see her come in with that machete, and it looks like it's Jason coming in there. Yeah. That other these counselors are not really prepared to be stalked by a serial killer at all. It's like they're very easy prey, especially after I guess it's been a long time, but what happens between that we get the car chase crotch sequence when the cops
Pretty hilarious.
Yeah,
Pretty hilarious, man.
That's hilarious, and because the two actors are having so much fun in that scene,
Right.
we're having a lot of fun, especially with the music that's playing and the fact that she's trying to outdrive the cops that she obviously knows. Which is hilarious, especially when the one deputy calls sheriff and gives a description of the car. That's my daughter's car.
Right.
Yeah. And he's like, "How do you want me to proceed then?" And he's like, "With extreme caution, you idiot," or something like that. You know? Yeah. But the cop, his driving seems to think it's somewhat funny. He does seem to find it amusing that it's the daughter's car, and maybe she's done something like this before. I don't know, but
I get the sense that she does this a lot.
She's a kind of rebellious.
Between Megan and her father is like she's always just trying to push his buttons. Always pushes his buttons. So you get the sense that she has done a lot of shit to push her father's buttons.
Actually, I wrote down the car because they actually described the car. The cops do. They call it a '77 orange Camaro when they call it in. So that's what it is. I was starting to think it might be like a Dukes of Hazzard car, but then I looked it up. I was like, no, that's not the same car because this looks like the way that it's driving. They drive it like it's Dukes of Hazzard all of a sudden.
Oh yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah. And then
it is an odd scene in the Friday 13th movie.
Chase sequence.
I speak chase.
Yeah. And they tried to do it earlier with the cop in the graveyard, but that was really short. This one's a little longer because they come up on a roadblock, and that's when she's like, "Quick, get down in my lap!" And she shoves his face like down into her lap, and he keeps trying to get back up, and she shoves it. And every time it cuts to like an extreme close up over her crotch, you know, that's what he's seeing. It's like,
I was like, classy. Keep it classy, movie.
Yeah. I do remember seeing that when I was younger, and I was like, really dug that idea. I was like, I wouldn't mind being in the car and that happening to me. You know,
I think all of us young boys in the '80s thought, "Oh, this is the greatest shot ever."
Yeah. You imagine that because you know that's just an insert that they shot later. It's probably not even her crotch. You know, can you imagine? You know, so she's watching the movie and it's like,
oh my god. I would love to have her reaction, the actress's reaction. Oh, I don't remember shooting that.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, he's gotten to it like 3 or 4 times, you know. It's like,
Jesus. Oh my god, you're making me laugh too hard.
Yeah.
But that whole sequence is really cool and elaborate the way they do it. Up until the part where they come up to her father with his shotgun ready. Obviously, he's not going to shoot her, but you know.
And then Matthew's head comes up out of her lap. It's just so funny
shit.
with your dad with a shotgun.
Yeah.
You know, it's awesome.
Oh, Tom Matthews, I tell you, his reaction looks is just classic in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did they bring him back to the police station then, and the sheriff gets another call, and this time it's about the RV crash that happened like several hours earlier probably. And he still thinks it's Tommy who's been killing people. And then Megan says that he was with her at that time, which he really wasn't, I don't think. But the cop kind of half believes it, but he believes it enough, he believes it enough to he has her stay at the station, and he puts Tommy in the cell, and he leaves the deputy with the gun with the red pointer dot at the station.
Rick. Deputy Rick.
Yeah. And then it cuts back to the camp, and we see Paula's character get killed. Which there's a little bit of back and forth between her and that other little girl. She comes and sees her. She finally realizes the phone's not working, and then the door's partially open. She goes to look over there. She sees blood on the floor because where the machete was. And then the door opens, and then Jason's there. He busts in with it. He has the machete. And then it cuts to the outside, and it doesn't show her, but it shows like a spray of blood just go all over the window. And then the window. This is a window break, though.
Yeah, this is like the only window break that we see is her.
He shoves her whole body out the window and then pulls her back inside. It's pretty cool to see that, actually. It's like without showing a lot of actual contact in her, you know, we see the blood hit the window, and then we see her body like a rag doll come in and out.
But to be honest with you, I was fine with that because we had seen so many people actually get killed earlier in the film, that as we rush into the final stretch of the movie, we're not seeing nearly as much. So I was perfectly fine with that. So
Right, yeah, and so that's the last of the counselors other than Megan, and we still have 30 minutes left in the film actually at that point, so it's about an hour into it. But there's and that's when like at the police station do this kind of comedy thing where so Tommy's in the jail cell and Megan's sitting there acting like she's drawing some bullshit on a pad, and then she starts getting in a fake fight with him and throws the pad at him, and then it's like the deputy has to go over there. And they actually get to the point where I think she goes over by the cell, and then they start making out.
Yeah,
which is cool. And I remember seeing that, thinking, okay, yeah, I'd like to be that guy, you know.
So it's funny. Tommy's reaction is like, "Oh, she's going for it."
Yeah.
Like,
You see that reaction. Oh, okay. It's not just a ruse anymore. Oh, we're doing it. Yeah.
But at first it was gonna look like it was gonna be one of those situations where she's gonna get close to the cell, and then he's gonna grab her and demand like the deputy like let him out or whatever. But instead of doing that, they start making out, and then the deputy has to get in between that, and she's able to steal his damn gun with a red dot. and then they let Tommy out, and then he points it.
Funny. Yeah. Well, it's funny when Tommy says it to him, wherever the red dot goes.
Yeah. Yeah, he kind of brings it back around because it's so stupid the first time. It's such a dumb thing to say the first time, and then he says it back to him, and the guy don't know. He don't know if he's going to shoot him or not shoot him, so he goes ahead and gets in the cell, and it saves his life because he makes it through the movie by being locked in the cell. So
I think totally. Deputy Rick is still under the impression that he could be the real killer of all these people. So yeah.
So
there should have been a little tag after the credits where they're like, cut to you know, he missed the whole party.
He's still in jail.
Yeah,
man. Someone let me out.
Yeah. And then they Tommy and Megan go out to her car again, and she's got a spare key. They're like they even talk about how they have the key. She's got a spare key hidden under her car, one of those little boxes like everybody used to have under their cars.
Yeah.
And then they talk about how the plan's to return Jason to his original resting place where he drowned in Crystal Lake. That's what he read in the books that he was reading.
Yeah, I mean there was a whole chapter on Jason. I guess. I mean, it was just
So then this is like the scene after that where Jason goes into the cabin where the kids are.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he would kill the kid. I remember when I was younger, like around the kid's age probably, that I always assumed that Jason wouldn't hurt kids because he was a kid when he drowned. And I'm not sure if that's true or not. He definitely never, as far as I remember, I never remember him ever hurting kids. He goes in there and stares at him like a creep.
Yeah, he stares at Nancy because Nancy sees him.
Yeah.
She starts to pray. She says her little prayer, but then obviously the cops get to the camp, and that disrupts Jason, and he goes out there when the cops get there. But I like the idea of him walking straight down the line of all the kids, and then he only stops when he sees the one kid who actually sees him.
Right. So I don't know. I don't know if he would have killed kids or not. I remember on the Friday the 13th original video game for NES, he was killing kids on that one.
Yeah.
But I don't think he ever does in the films.
Yeah, he does. I don't believe he does in the. I can't remember. I don't think he does.
No, that would have been the fake one. I was Reggie, the Reggie from the fifth one, but that's not the real Jason. That's the fake Jason.
Oh, that's right. He would have done it. But I get watching it last night, I was getting the impression that when he goes before the cops show up, he was going to, and all the kids run to the back of the cabin. Yeah, that was him going to kill him. Yeah.
Maybe he was just going to stare at him like a creep. I don't know.
Yeah,
but maybe I don't know. I mean,
what do y'all want to do? Play Monopoly?
Yeah. Yeah, then the cops get there, and which is kind of cool. You're like, okay, cool. The cops are here. I think we're good now. You know, I don't think Jason's going to mess with the cops. They got guns.
Yeah, but I see these cops as the kind of like the throwback to like earlier kills, because the first one at the dock, he kills by throwing yet another utensil out of his handy dandy utility belt. Love that utility belt in this movie.
Yeah, it's like a dart or something, isn't it?
Yeah, like a dart. Oh,
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
With some force because it hits him and that body flies back into like damn. And of course, the next one he comes across is the big guy. The big guy who he comes across who's
Mr.
looking
Mustache.
Yeah, I call him Random Cop number 2, but he's the one who was in the car that got the call and was amused that it was his daughter as well. So it's like this same.
Well,
dude.
he was also at the site where the counts of bodies were too. So because he's so different, he looks so different than the other cops. You recognize him. But it's funny because he gets his whole head smashed in by Jason. I like just crushed in. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
I actually wish they had shown a little bit more gore in that one, just a little bit more. But it's
on the Blu-ray, that one is a little prolonged, and you do see like some, gush, out the top. So
it's
pretty good.
You do see him like after that because later on, Megan comes to see them. You see some like yellow, which is probably brain matter coming out of his nose on the ground.
It's like
or something.
brain is coming out of his nose. Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Yeah, it was big. Or maybe he just had a really bad infection, and it was just a bunch of
they cleared his sinuses out. Yeah, that was nice.
Well, then our main sheriff, Sheriff Garris, has to face Jason, which I just find hilarious, because he's got this big ass shotgun, and when he counters him, he shoots him once, thinks that he's got him, but then Jason just steps right back up, leans forward, he shoots him again. Jason rolls.
Yeah.
Gets right back up. Shoots him again. Rolls left.
Yeah, it's not going too good. It's not a good feeling when you got the shotgun. You think you killed him. And
and the shotgun that's all the shots he had in the shotgun. So now he has to use his little revolver.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like at that point, why would he even bother? It's a good time just to run. That he eventually does run.
Yeah, but the thing is, he does run. That's the funny thing. He actually does fucking run, and he runs and hides a good while. You know.
Yeah, he goes. Yeah, I mean, that's the way. That's what you got to do. If
it works.
You shoot somebody with a shotgun. They don't die. It's time to leave.
Yeah. What is amazing though is he does basically what people should always do in these Friday the 13th movies. He runs out of the woods and he hides behind a tree, and you would be fine in these situations.
As long as you wait for Jason to walk past you.
I think you got to keep going though, because this Jason would probably find him, but maybe not if he kept going though.
Oh no, I agree with you. Yeah, but he's at a camp. He doesn't know where the hell he's going. He might run in a big circle for all we know.
What brings him back though? He hears his daughter, and Jason starts to go towards her, and at that point, he decides he wants to be a hero and jump on Jason's back, and
he goes, "No, not her." He's trying to protect
his big ass stone and just keep wailing him in his face with where the mask is, just wailing him. I've always loved his death though. Jason just takes it and just bends him in half. Like damn.
It snaps his spine. It is a great death. The only thing I don't like about it is I would have liked for him to almost get just see what he would talk about with Tommy when he realized that he wasn't the killer. I would have liked to see the interaction of that.
Interesting. I never thought about that. Yeah, you're right.
I always thought that when you're watching the film and he's butting heads with him and he's got this animosity towards him, and he starts to think he's a killer, and once he realizes that he is telling the truth, I would like to see. It's just something I thought it would have been cool to see back then, and I was always disappointed that he got killed before having that opportunity. But I don't know. Yeah. It's a cool death, though.
You said all right, well, you might not be the killer, but still stay away from my daughter.
Yeah. It probably would have gone down that way. You're still a weird dude.
You're still pretty weird, man.
He would have never been accepting of Tommy. He would have never been accepting of Tommy, because if he survived, he would have said, "Damn it, you were right, and I was wrong." Fuck.
Yeah. I don't like that.
But when I was younger, I used to think that people would be convinced at some point once they realized you were right, they would suddenly be on your side, but once they realize you're right, they fucking hate you even more, you know?
It's kind of true.
Yeah.
So so what we have here is the scene where, Tommy and Megan have gotten to the camp, and Tommy as soon as he gets there, he kind of preps his plan in action. While Megan ends up first, I think she first goes to her cabin and sees the massacre inside the cabin. She doesn't know who it is, but she sees the blood everywhere, massacre everywhere.
Well, he basically takes that Paula character, slashes her with a machete, throws her out the window like a rag doll, brings her back inside. I guess at that point he just dismembers her for it's like some Jack the Ripper shit for a long time.
He's different in this one.
It's interesting that you mentioned that he dismembers people, because then that makes this whole thing make sense to me. I never thought about this. He's very mean-spirited in this movie in regards to that massacring people. Like he just likes to cut people up. But but it's
it
cool
is a new thing for this one for sure. I don't think we've seen that before.
No. Never seen him do that before.
No, he wouldn't stick around and just to chop people up just because I'm just not done.
No.
Still got some energy on this one.
He likes to hang the bodies up usually and hide them in places, but
That's
usually
true.
after they're dead, though, he usually doesn't continue to mutilate them past when they're dead. It's like they're dead. That's
They're dead.
it.
I'm going to use them
hang you
for
up.
exactly. I'm going to use them for decor.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. And then we get to Megan. She goes to check on the kids, and they're all in the same cabin because her father has pushed them all into one cabin.
Yeah.
And so she tries to tell them to go back to hiding. And then when she gets out of the cabin, she goes back to Tommy, who's rolling this boulder. She's too busy
messing around with this rock.
Yeah,
I mean,
that thing goes on forever. Jason would have already killed them all in real life if that was happening.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a giant, but seeing it now,
keep in mind that the father's not dead yet. He's still looking for the father. He doesn't start looking. He doesn't kill the father until after she starts calling for her father.
Right.
So, I made some notes here on this part because Tommy rolls the big rock towards the lake, and then Megan goes to the cop car, opens the door, and her friend's head, Sissy's head's in the car, and rolls out. And then the kids are sitting there watching it from the cabin, and the two kids we were talking about earlier, one of them's like, "We're dead meat," and the other kid's like, "So, what were you gonna be when you grew up?"
Dude, I love those two kids, man. They got some great asides in this movie.
Yeah. So what were you going to be when you grew up?
Pretty funny.
But all she cares about is looking for her father at this point because she knows he's there because his car's there. She's not listening to Tommy. Tommy is like trying to protect her. Get out of there. But she can't listen. And then does she go to the? She goes to the kids.
Yeah, she goes back into the kids. This is like this is it gets some weird stuff happens at the end that's kind of like on the edge of not being believable. So Jason goes into the cabin. All the kids are freaking out. They go to the back of the cabin. Then Megan comes in there to stop them. But then Tommy calls, and then she goes outside, and then Jason busts through the window and grabs her by the head like he did the other cop, and he's about to smash her head in, which would have been a duplicate death. He doesn't usually do the same death twice like that, but I guess that's the only thing he could think of at the time.
That's right.
If he's thinking it all now, a zombie, he's not thinking.
He's trying to perfect it. He's like, I did it okay, but if I just,
But then Tommy's like, "Hey, I'm the one you want. Remember me?" And Jason's like, "No, I don't. But I guess I'll kill you anyway." But
no, I still think.
Are you that guy that dressed up like me when you were a little kid? And like, you're right, man. You suck.
Come on, maggot head.
Maggot head.
So you don't call someone a maggot head, and because then he lets her go. I mean, he had her. He was holding her long enough to crush her skull, and all he needed was like 2 more seconds, and he could have had her. But instead, he's like, "All right, I guess like the guy's out in the lake anyway. He could wait." So.
Well, let me finish this. And I don't think I've ever seen like Jason just say like, "Oh, well, I mean, I guess you kind of, but anyway."
Well, he did it before though. In Friday the 13th Part 4, he does come down he didn't even shave his head this time, but he had
Yeah.
shaved his head and came down and, hey, Jason, I'm you when you were a kid.
Yeah.
He's, oh,
Yeah.
shit.
This was the thing. Hey, man, you look like that kid that put that machete in my face.
That could be. He's just I like he would remember.
Yeah,
I don't know. He was dead.
Maybe he's like, hey, you're that guy that brought me back to life in the graveyard.
Well, he would remember that probably. I don't know if he would associate him. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
If that whole
Does
thing,
he
if their psychic connection, like we were talking about earlier,
Like
even though
you were talking about.
we all agreed on earlier
thing.
that.
I'm not on that we all did not agree on. Okay, got it.
I don't know, but like, so he basically falls into the trap that Tommy has, and
the worst trap, the worst plan. This is the worst plan. All right. There's got to be better ways to get Jason in the bottom of the lake than tying a chain around a boulder. And then I get that big boulder and put it in that little dinky boat. I was going like, I don't know if that boat would hold that boulder. Like
I don't think it was supposed to, because in order for him to drown Jason, he would have to push the boulder out. I think there has to be some suspicion of disbelief that at some point he just believed that the boat would break apart.
This is a really risky plan, though.
Yeah, he did not really read that book. I mean, he just sort of like read a paragraph. I think I can improvise the rest. I mean, he's not didn't think.
No, I think his plan was simply to return Jason to the lake where he was drowned, and he did not think about all of the details.
No, he did not. He was like, "What would Wile E. Coyote do?" Let me think. I mean,
I mean, visually, it's interesting for the end of the movie because what's funny is Jason's walking just straight out into the water
like a submarine.
This is where the whole thing about Jason being afraid of the water in seems really stupid, because he literally just walks straight into the water of the lake. No fear whatsoever.
I don't think the writers or the directors of any of these movies watched the previous ones, but they even say that on part 5. He hadn't watched any of the other ones before diving into it. But I guess it didn't matter with part 5 as much, because it's a different story.
Oh man, but so Jason disappears under the water, and all of a sudden, Tommy is like, "Oh shit! Oh damn! I didn't know that was going to happen."
Right. Oh man, already.
I was thinking Jason could swim.
I thought he was going to dog paddle and then grab the boat and I'd loop it around, and then I'd throw the thing down, and that was going to stop this unstoppable guy.
Yeah. So
Jason's actually been out in the lake in a lot of these other ones. In part 4, remember in the dock, he comes out of the water and stabs the guy with a spear.
He has no problem.
I've never understood that part 8 reference for him being afraid of water. I always thought that was stupid. And then of course they used it in Freddy versus Jason. So I was like, oh, this is such a concept.
Yeah, the real fans, the long-term fans are going like, Jason afraid of water? I don't think so. Bullshit, guys. Bullshit, guys.
Maybe this made him afraid of water, getting chained to the bottom of the lake for a year.
That's probably, he developed a fear from it.
Yeah, it also depends on your time frame for where you think part 7 falls in line with all this shit.
It's 2 days later.
They tore everything down. Yeah, because they tore down all of Crystal Lake and then put that house there.
Yeah. Well,
we'll talk about that.
It's just like this plan of.
We'll get there.
It's it backfires immediately. Like even after like this movie, just like thinking about how dangerous this is. It's not like people don't go in this lake, and he's not that deep into the water. So
that is what I got. That's what I got out of this. Jason is like maybe 5 feet below the surface. I mean, and off the shore,
he can still grab Tom Matthews with his hand, or Megan, and just pull her down. So he can't go that deep. Like
Jason makes some mistakes in this movie.
You do know he's dead, right?
But all right, so. Now this is like, so he goes, like you're saying, he goes under the water and he comes out of the boat like he typically does. Even he did in the very first movie. He likes to just come up out of the boat and scare the shit out of people on a boat. You know, that's a cool. That's his thing that he does.
I was thinking like, yeah, this is like the ending of the first movie, but like cranked up with like.
One thing we didn't mention: Tommy takes that gasoline, pours it around the boat, and lights the water. So there's a circle of water around the boat for some reason.
Circle of flame.
Fire. Yeah.
Fire.
What did I say? Circle of water around the boat. Yeah.
There was that. There was that too.
Yeah.
A ring of fire. There is a ring.
There's a ring of fire. It catches Jason on fire some, but it doesn't do a whole lot other than look cool.
I don't know if that would work. I don't know.
I'm actually curious if it would. Pour some gasoline in there, get in the middle of a boat, and then
just kind of goes sloshity, and then lights, and then he's got this ring of fire around. I'm like,
it definitely wouldn't stay in one spot. Yeah, that gasoline would just start dissipating all over, spreading out. It's film magic. It's great for this movie, dude. Film magic.
Movie magic.
But here in this boat situation, though, the script gives Tommy Jarvis a lot more leeway than any other character would ever get with Jason because he's the main character. Because Jason comes up and is able to snag him. You see, like when we talk about the mummy gets somebody with their hand, it's over. Jason's got both hands. It's like
whoa. Tommy's like fumbling for that chain forever. I'm going like, dude, his bones would have been broken, his head would have been ripped off.
He had like one chance. Like a millisecond chance to get that chain around Jason's neck before his neck was snapped or whatever Jason's going to do to him, and he missed his shot.
Oh,
and that should have been it. Yeah,
yeah.
But Jason's like, all right, I'll get back in the water and let you try that again.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you this plan is so stupid. I'll let you try. All right. I mean, and we're gonna give you another chance.
Yeah, so then luckily the second time he gets it because this was kind of going a little way long for this scene in the movie, and it wasn't as thrilling as it should have been. But somehow on top of that, luckily like the boat's not sinking with the rock in it, so Jason jumps into the boat, gets the chain around his neck, lands in the boat, breaks the boat in half because he's. And then everything worked out perfectly. Then the rock sinks and he's like on the bottom of the lake.
Yeah,
and Tommy's going like
Crystal Lake sign, the old Crystal Lake sign.
Yeah. Just right where Tommy figured that out. He knew where that sign was.
Yeah.
Which actually is kind of a cool touch, I guess. But then
visually, it's a very cool touch. Visually, it's very cool.
But then he grabs Tommy and is able to pull him down. And here's where Jason really screws up. He could have just held him there forever until he really drowned, but Jason's like, I guess he's dead. I'll let him go now. All
right, dead enough.
Dead enough. But so he has to get himself another victim because Megan then sees Tommy out there just floating, and so she has to jump in and save him. She's still wearing her jacket and everything. She just dives right off of the dock, swims right over there, and of course, Jason ain't dead yet. He's already fucking dead.
Yeah.
What was Tommy's thing? He was like, I'll throw him down there, and then I guess he'll just stay down there.
Natural psychological ending. If I return him to his rightful place, he'll die.
So supernatural stuff will happen, and he will just be dead. Yeah. But he's not. He's just hanging out there. Like, was that a person? Okay.
Yeah. And then she's able to he starts grabbing her, which she'd be dead too, but she's a main character, so she doesn't die. But she gets the boat and cranks the motor up, and then hits him in the face with the motor, and I guess it messes up. You see a bunch of blood.
Especially when it in theory cracks his neck because you hear it, and then you see all the blood finally come out, and you think, oh shit, he ain't gonna have half a head because the freaking blades will have cut it. Of course, that's not the case in part 7, but
yeah. I feel like though, maybe even though this isn't confirmed, or I'm just saying maybe Jason regenerates his tissue. He's clearly got blood now. He didn't have blood at the beginning of the movie, and by the end of the movie, he has blood.
That's
good point.
Good point. I never thought about that. Even when he's shot with the shotgun, you don't see any blood coming out of him. He shot 3 times with the freaking shotgun at almost point blank range. He should,
Boy, he's like the mummy,
Yeah.
the Princess Anaka. He just gets in the water and he just gets all rehydrated. And
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like he would have
That's
come
it.
out looking
It's
brand new.
rehydrated. I love it.
Yeah, that's right. It was just all dry. He was all dried up.
Oh,
So so finally, like, so she gets Tommy, and he seems dead. She brings him back to the water, and there's a real cute scene when she gives him the mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, and
bring
all
them
the
back to the
kids,
beach.
yeah, all the kids are around, and they're like, "Oh my God, is he going to die? What's going to happen?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then of course he doesn't. He wakes up and spits water out, and all the kids are like, "Yay!" Even though they don't even know who he is, but they're like, "Cool."
Yeah, they have no clue.
Yeah.
We've
And
just
then-
seen 5 people die, but well, that was
Yeah.
5 minutes ago. Who cares?
Yeah. And
Yay.
then Tommy says, "It's over. It's finally over. Jason's home."
Yeah.
And then the kids, they look out over the lake, and one of the kids has a Mickey Mouse shirt on. I'm not sure how they got away with that, but
Yeah.
there it is.
86
It's
Disney
it.
didn't care.
Yeah. Then it's like the next. I mean, I don't know. It's another day. It's day now. It could have been like a year later or something. We cut the lake. Jason's like 2 foot under the water and
Yep.
wakes back up.
I mean, the cops are going to come.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
here we go. Cops are going to come. Say like, oh my gosh, all these dead people
Yeah.
and everything. Where's the killer? And he's right there in 2 feet of water. And they're going to say like, well, let's get him out and like do an autopsy. But
Yeah.
they don't.
Yeah.
No, they leave it there. They leave it,
leave
and
it there.
that's the thing is that's why the events in part 7 is so weird, because you have this sense that a lot of shit has happened,
Yeah.
but you don't really get the time period of when all that shit was happening. So
Yeah.
but
Well, because when she's a little girl, you know,
At some point.
the camp's gone, the house is there. I mean, unless it's just like the Crystal Lake is kind of like the swamp in the Mummy movies. It's just the swamp is the swamp. It's connected to all places,
and Jason's body moves.
and just the tide moved that little rock, that giant boulder, just moved it around.
Hey, just remember that Camp Crystal Lake is like connected to the river
Oh.
or lake that will take you to Manhattan.
That's right. It's really part of the jet stream or whatever it is, whatever it got, the tidal flow.
But yeah, well, you do have to say this that geez, what the hell was I going to say? But I was going to say, okay, so the idea was if he's put back in his home, then he's good. That's what Tommy thinks. That's what we read in the book. He read that in the books that he did a speed read of in like 20 minutes.
Yep.
So that's part of it, maybe. And then my second thing I'm thinking on top of that is this doesn't help with that. Jason broke a damn RV cord earlier. He can't get out of this chain thing he's in.
Chain.
Is that?
It's very thick chain.
I think Jason Jason dies of embarrassment in this one because he can't get out of that chain. He's just like, oh my God, of all I've been through, and this chain and rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's some kind of supernatural pull from that being where he originally drowned.
In the grave, his grave. Yeah.
Visually, it's cool as shit just to see Jason in there in the lake, submerged with attached to a rock at the bottom that's sitting on the sign as Crystal Lake. Visually, it's cool as shit.
Yeah.
It's visually cool, but you just saying that right now, Jason, they defeat him by tying him to a rock. I mean, it didn't seem ridiculous when I saw it. Any other time I've seen this movie, it never seemed ridiculous. I just went with it. But you just saying that out loud and us actually having watched it last night going like, this is the plan?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, the movie gets a little wonky in the last 15 minutes. After the cop sheriff dies, from then on, it gets a little wonky. And it basically, it's got the main character syndrome where the two characters left are not going to die.
Right.
So, I mean, and then a lot of like unrealistic things suddenly happen that are like Jason would have killed you guys and had you guys tied to the bottom of the lake to a rock, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
Jason would have
Absolutely.
like,
Oh, it's all screwed up. I mean, Megan basically now her dad's dead. I mean, the all her friends are dead, and she got Tommy though. But she's probably like, hey, you kind of remind me of a really bad time in my life, Tommy. I
Yeah.
don't really think this is going to work out.
Yeah.
You need
If
to
you
go
had
back
to-
to the mental
had to-
institution.
Well, yeah, because if you hadn't resurrected the fucker, my father would still be alive. You crazy.
Yeah.
You're probably
Yeah.
right though. There would have been some trauma for her going forward. I don't think it would have worked out relationship wise. We never get to find out, unfortunately, because they lost the
Yeah.
rights to the Tommy Jarvis character after
Right.
this.
Well, we'll wait until they do a legacy sequel, and they'll bring him back, and they'll bring Jason back, because there has to be a legacy sequel at some point. Every other franchise has one. We're waiting on the
both-
legacy sequel for this one, and we're waiting for the Nightmare on Elm Street one. Everyone else has already had their legacy sequels.
We just gotta get everybody to be old enough for the Wendy's senior citizen menu, and then they're gonna make a legacy sequel. We need a geriatric Tommy Jarvis.
Yeah. They probably have to reboot Tommy Jarvis, unfortunately, if they have him in there again. I'd like to see Tom Matthews back, but more than likely they would go the route of recasting him with a younger actor.
Bring him back. He'll be the crazy Ralph character. Jason's still there, motherfuckers.
Oh,
Jason's still
Yeah, they could have
that
Corey
curse.
Feldman play him now, though.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Wouldn't that
That'd
be
be-
weird? Like all of a sudden,
So
like Corey
weird.
Feldman plays him. Like now, I think like I was like after I was telling you about that one time before when I was playing the Friday the 13th online game and I actually turned into Tommy Jarvis. He looked a lot like Alexander Skarsgård, and I think that's who they need
Oh.
to get to play Tommy
There we go.
Jarvis.
I don't know if he'll want to do a legacy
Oh,
sequel.
he'll want to
for-
do it. No, he probably wouldn't. He probably wouldn't. But, I think he might be aging out too, depending on how old they want to make the character. But it's
They'll just get the other
Yeah.
I mean, what did y'all see that?
Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah. Y'all saw that whatchamacallit, that Chainsaw sequel on Netflix where like, Marilyn Burns' character is
Yeah.
like, 78 or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
Yeah.
yeah, all right.
But they don't have her play the main character though.
That's right.
Tommy Jarvis, and especially if you see the way he was on that Friday the 13th game, he was like really badass. It's almost like Ash,
Oh yeah.
sort of character. So it was
No, that's totally what they should do with him. And make him like the character in part 4 that's he's the Jason Hunter,
yeah.
No, that would be
Yeah.
what's his face from Jason Goes to Hell, played by
Oh,
Stephen Williams.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool to see Tommy
See
Jarvis
them-
character like
Kind of
that.
like a whatchamacallit. They hook up and it's like kind of like Lethal Weapon, going after Jason.
So they're both Megan and bring back the Megan actress and Tommy Jarvis actors and Tom Matthews and
Yeah.
let it be in the legacy sequel. We've been killing people like Jason forever.
That's right. Yeah, they've been kind of like that comic hack and slash going around killing
Yes!
serial
Yes!
killers. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh Jesus! Oh guys, we've gotten to the end of Friday the 13th. Jason Lives. Is there any other things we could talk about this film for everybody?
What any other notes I've got?
Okay, I'm gonna take that as a no.
Yeah.
No, that's a no. That's a no.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain I've covered all my notes I have at this point. We may have to do another pickup on this later, but now.
We still got plenty of sequels to discuss.
Yeah.
I'm sure that
That's
this one
true.
will come up again.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you both for joining me on this conversation about Friday 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. For everyone who's listening to the show, what we love to do is we love to rate the films between 1 and 5, 1 being poor, 5 being amazing. But what we love to do is we love to take a quote, an object, or a saying out of the film to attribute to that rating. What is your rating, and what object, quote, or saying would you like to attribute to your rating? Uncle, we'll start with you today.
All right. I am going to give this one. I would say it's equal in my heart to Part 4 for different reasons, But I would give this one in Friday the 13th scaling. I would give this one 4.5 da bangs.
The bangs.
What,
What about you, Dave?
What's the bangs?
Da bangs, where the red dot goes.
Oh, okay, yeah, gotcha, yeah. All right. So I'm also gonna give it 4.5. I'm gonna give it 4.5 giant boulders with a chain wrapped around them. Like I said, I do think it gets wonky at the end, but I like the energy throughout.
Dude, this is the one I could stick in and watch out of order anytime I'm in the mood for a Jason film. It's not the same with most of the other sequels. Even the fourth one, as much as I love that one, I can't just stick that one in and just go with it and just have fun. This is literally the only one I could do. Or Jason X. I could actually deal with Jason X.
Yeah,
that's in a different way. This one I actually love and think is good. Jason X is entertaining for a different way completely.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna give it 4.5. Large pieces of cemetery fences stuck to my body as a lightning rod. So that's what I'm gonna give it. Because I can always be resurrected if the lightning hits it right.
Yeah. It's only a matter of time before that happens too. If you're sticking out of your grave like that.
I got one more. I'm sorry. I know it's late. I know we're tired. All right. One more thing.
Yeah.
All right. This director is actually very close to my heart because the first movie I physically remember going to and watching was the movie The Black Hole. And nobody likes that movie again, or they see it as there's a lot of stuff. I love the movie The Black Hole. All right. I've watched it 1,000 times. All right. It's my earliest theater experience. Okay.
So who's in The Black Hole? I think I've seen it.
Maximilian Schell and Robert Forster, Anthony Perkins.
I was about to say Anthony Perkins. I thought that's what I thought. I've seen it too.
Yeah. It's Disney's answer to Star Wars, but I love it. It's very morose and sad, but I love that movie. In that movie, there is a black robot character named Star. All right, who is like the leader of the robot, or not? He's not Maximilian. He's like kind of like the sergeant of all the army of robots. Okay, and he's kind of like got the slick black costume, blah blah blah, and he's like really good at shooting stuff. All right. Anyway, the actor that plays Star is Tom McLaughlin, who directed tonight's movie.
Oh, yeah.
So it's crazy. And so I've always liked that. I've always liked this movie because Star from The Black Hole directed it.
I need to check that movie out again. I do remember vaguely liking that.
I love it. I love it.
I love it. Liking it as a kid. It's been a long time since I've seen it, dude. At least 2 decades, if not longer. Yeah. But I remember liking it as a kid.
They need to. Hopefully, they'll do a remaster of that film. I'd like to see.
They've got it on Disney Plus, but they need to do a 4K because it's they put a lot of work into it. So
probably some of those are tough to do, but sometimes when because the special effects I'm sure are kind of wonky in that one, but it probably would look a lot better with a remaster.
Yeah, definitely.
All
cool.
right.
Okay, that's all I have.
That's all you have? Okay. Well, I want to thank you all for listening to our conversation tonight, in which we just delved into the film Friday 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. We hope that you have enjoyed listening to us talk about it. If you have, please check out the other episodes on the previous films in the franchise. And please make sure to like, share, follow, subscribe, do that thing you do with your favorite podcast and your favorite podcast app, Spotify or YouTube, so you never miss an episode. We will have some amazing episodes coming up. And if there happens to be another Friday 13th this year, we'll have more released episodes on those films as well. From all of us here at Something Wicked Entertainment, please have a great day. And remember, stay out of those graveyards. Conversations in Horror is a Broken Lighthouse Pictures production. Written, produced, and directed by Kevin L. Powers. Executive producer, Kelly A. Inoka. All contents and material from this episode of Conversations in Horror is copyright 2025 Broken Lighthouse Pictures.